You're in the right place. Online, on the web, and on air. All over the world.
Yeah, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the KTPF Community Show.
Talk radio.
That's where we are.
You hear us, we hear you.
Yeah, my name's Suzanne. Suzanne, and this is...
I am indeed. I'm Steve. Hi, guys.
Hi, everyone. If you are new to the KTPF show, let me just explain to you what we are all about. First of all, we are a community talk show, and that is it, plain and simple. We are an interactive and live internet-based paranormal talk show, talk radio show that invites you, our listeners, to join in the discussions and interviews with our special guest every Wednesday at around 8 p.m. UK time zone. We try to cover the supernatural, paranormal, ufology, cryptozoology, conspiracies, and other strange mysteries and phenomena, plus showcasing other paranormal groups and mediums from around the globe. We originally started on the 21st of March 2012, and unfortunately last week, because I was a bit non-compos mentis, I forgot to mention that last week was actually our year anniversary, Steve.
It was indeed.
So, are you on?
He's on. I'm just trying to find out who's put that horrible colour on the chat room. I think it's Vicky, to be honest.
I got a horrible feeling.
I can't see it.
All my typing's gone all array because it hasn't. I've just quickly typed it off for the observations, and it's not come out very well.
Well, while you're sorting all that out, shall we say hello to our friends in the chat room?
Yes, you do that. Who we got on at the moment?
Well, we have Doc Savage all the way from Minnesota.
Minnesota.
US Orbit. We're actually watching Pointless, and we found out where that was last night, didn't we?
Yeah.
It's up near Canada, apparently. No wonder it's really cold and snowy at the moment. We also have Chris L.
Right.
Reiki Debs. Helen's popped in. No Hobbs. Charlotte is our Nigel. Greenlee, of course. Vicky Zena.
Mm-hmm.
She's come in instead of John tonight, looks of it.
Right, okay. I'm sure he's there somewhere, though.
I'm sure he was in the background there somewhere.
Anybody else?
Aggie's in.
How? Good evening, Aggie. Nice to see you again.
I'm taking these headphones off now because they're confusing me.
It happens.
Jo said she'll be she's out having a few vinos. She'll be a bit late.
Right, okay, so that's not a problem.
And Greenlee reckons you're all flustered because Ben Hansen's coming up.
No. Ladies, calm down. Okay, we're going to try and give the men a chance this week. This time when he comes on. So yes. So let me just let you know that we're going to be doing that kind of intro from now on. So if you didn't hear it, it's just basically saying that you're in the right place at the right time. And as I said, with the KTPF, we do try and bring quite a few talks your way. And if we can get people on, then fair enough. Obviously, it might just be me and Steve 1 week, so it could be a short show. But we want you to get involved. This is a whole main part of it. Okay, we're inviting you, our guests, or rather our listeners, to engage in live-friendly discussions, as I said, whether it be via email, chat room, on the phone, or via Skype, at ktpf.paranormalshow.
I think I like guests better.
Yes, they are.
I like guests better.
Yes.
It's a lot more friendly.
Our chatters.
Yeah, our chatters.
You know, but don't forget, whoever we have on the show, please, ladies and gentlemen, although you have the right to reply, we will not tolerate any profanities and disrespectfulness behaviour. Please remember to be respectful to our guests and our listeners, especially in the chat room. We'd like you to do that. And please remember also that everyone's got an opinion and a belief. If that's what they believe, then who are we to tell them not to? So please, if you are disagreeing in any way, please try and be respectful. Okay, and also something else I must tell you after recent weeks, we need to make sure that you know about this disclaimer that's on the foot of the just underneath the chat room there. It is our intention to provide our listeners with different views and outlooks, promoting discussions. Although we assume no responsibility of the opinions and beliefs expressed by our guests, callers, listeners, or chatters on the KTPF Community Talk Show. The opinions expressed are solely the opinions of the original source who expressed them. We also take no responsibility for the opinions of others in the postings of comments in chat rooms or the forum posts. Okay, and as I said before, no comments that are obscene, sexual in nature, racist, personally offensive, or otherwise inappropriate will be accepted. And if you post such comments, we will remove them and you if necessary. Okay. Of what's happened of late, I needed to say that, I'm afraid. And I think I need to express it quite a few times.
I must admit, though, our usual guests in the chat room are normally very responsible. They have a good go at each other in the
friendliest of manner. Yeah,
yes.
I understand that. But what if we get new people on? This is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
You know, I need to mention it because as you say, we do have people on here who are friendly and we do have friendly banter. But if a new person came on and saw somebody doing what we call friendly banter, they might think, "Hey up," you know, for one. And also when it comes to the special guests that we have on the show talking about their chosen topic, you know, some of you may think it's a load of rubbish.
I did one week.
Yes, but that's the way it goes.
I hold my tongue.
You know, I've been getting happy anniversaries. So,
cool.
Happy birthday. So, talking about happy birthdays, we missed one, I think it was last week, wasn't it, Nigel? I was meant to have wished him a happy birthday as well. God, I tell you, last week I was really out of it.
I'm not sure who Nigel's on about, but he was on about Ben. No, he doesn't. He said, does he wear a toque?
Does he wear a toupee?
Yes.
No. Oh, he may be wearing a toupee, but I've never actually seen him wearing a toupee.
We have no proof of the matter.
No. Are you sure? Well, I've not really looked that close, to be honest with you. So anyway,
no, we'll leave that job to Joe.
Yeah. So, but I think I know who he's on about, but we'll leave it at that, I'm afraid. But as I say, we do need to address that because one of our guests that we had on recently, somebody took a little bit of a dislike to the possibility of the content of their interview. And so we had to deal with it. Didn't we, dear?
We did.
Yes. So, but no worries about that. So anyway, back on to tonight's show. Who have we got on tonight?
Personally, going back to that little bit just to once.
Yes.
If it was down to me, I'd say do what you're going to do and just come on and give your side.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
But unfortunately, that wasn't an option.
No. Or even check the footage first.
Yeah, check it before you moan. Listen to it.
Yeah. So anyway, let me just let you know who's coming on tonight, just in case you are new with us and you don't know, and just in case you're not and you don't know. In the hub tonight, unfortunately, it's just me and Steve. Okay. And that could be quite regular sometimes. Oh. So just me and Lee, husband and Wifty, innit?
Oh, Wifty.
Not saying I whiff a bit, but realise what I said then. Yeah. But anyway, the plot thickens.
I'm sure somebody will notice that I didn't object to that.
Right. Perhaps I should have been called Wendy. Am I missing something? No, you're all right. I'm just having personal heat waves. Okay? You seem a lot better, so. Yeah, I am. I did go to the doctors today and get the blood results and everything, and it turns out that I have had a stroke. Not a mini one. Power surges. Have you not heard that phrase, Deb? Bit better than personal heat waves. Yes, there'll be a special. She's under there at the moment. Special appearance from Roxy. Yes, I have found out that I have had a stroke. So if I slur every now and again, please bear with me.
Yeah, Roxy normally joins us about 10 o'clock.
Yeah, she's under here at the moment. We've got the cat over there. It's all homely here. Who was it who came on and said, "Oh, we're back in the Taggart's household"? Was that Andy Mercer who said that? Somebody used to say that. Well, this is it. It's all friendly.
Somebody said it when we were downstairs and we went downstairs in the living room.
So, but anyway, let's get back to it, okay? If you have just joined us and you're sitting there thinking, what the hell are they on about? This is just basically
Waffle.
It's a waffling show. When we first start, we have a little bit of fun. We talk to people and let people know how we're going. Shadow is in the top wardrobe hiding.
Get him down from there, Charlotte. We need him on here. We need him watching out for us.
So, as I say, don't forget you are our eyes and ears. So if there's any problems in the chat room or on the show, just let us know. John there is also there, our technical man in Norwich. So he'll be there watching, I assume. And also, what's the other thing? If we do go down at any time, it's all down to live stream. But bear with us. We will be back. We'll just refresh it. And if you do the same, then obviously just refresh the page and come back. Okay, it's all down to livestream.com, I'm afraid. Okay. Yeah. Right, so let's should we do the observation? Oh, sorry, I was telling you it was on. Sorry. See? Sidetracked. As I say, later on we have Neil Munnerley, otherwise known as Mr. Mahogany to some of you affectionate listeners. He'll be on affectionate. That sounds like chocolate, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's confection.
He'll be on later on. He'll be on via telephone, hopefully, because he couldn't get over tonight. And he's going to be talking about Transfiguration and stuff like that. So that should be interesting. So we still have his mic here ready for him. So yeah, and 8:30, about 1:30 his time, we have 45 minutes to kill with Mr. Ben Hansen from Paranormal Files. That's Fact or Fate Paranormal Files. So he's giving us an extra 15 minutes. And in the on his Facebook page, I was very, very surprised to see that he put the poster up that I'd sent him. And he actually said that at 1:30 p.m. at Pacific time, he will be on with one of his favourite UK radio shows. So I expect all of his UK friends to check it out. So if we do crash, then you know why. We've got all his fans on as well.
Yeah, on the subject of Mr. Hansen, questions?
Why are you giving them to me? You're going to talk to him as well.
I will talk to him.
I'm going to find out when he's coming over and when we can do this investigation as well.
Just gives you a starting point. Yeah.
So anyway, right, we're going to get on with the observations because we've got quite a few here, to be honest with you. You know, sometimes you can get some paranormal news and sometimes there's hardly anything out there at all. But I found some things that, if we don't get time to do it in this segment, we can always do it in between time when just before Neil comes on. So, yes, stay calm, young ladies out there. So be please prepared to for later when Mr. Hansen comes on. And Steve will be looking out for all the technical paranormal questions that you have in the chat room. And if anyone wants to phone up, they can phone up and speak to Mr. Ben Hansen on 0844 414 3982. Now that would be a paranormal thing, wouldn't it, Steve?
It would if somebody actually rang up.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it? So, because this is a show where you can do this, and you can ring us up and ask questions and blah, 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 and tell us your stories,
And when Mr. Neil's on the phone, you can Skype us.
Skype us, yes, definitely. So, anyway, let's go on with the observations. Okay, we've got a few things there. Ooh, an extra 15 minutes. Nigel, don't believe me, but a quartz crystal appeared in the middle of our bed. Wish it was after protection. Okay. I may have a power surge.
No, I think that was a gift.
Yeah, it could have been a gift. So, but yes, power surges. Do you understand what I mean by power surges, Reiki Debs? Otherwise known as personal heat waves. Yes. Yep. But I like power surges. What do you reckon? Anyway, observations. First of all, a Wisconsin resident reported witnessing a supposed UFO cruising the night sky above Highway 18 at about 12 p.m. on March the 19th. The ship, which the witness described as a glowing refrigerator-size object, moving across the snow, covered the cornfield. across the snow-covered cornfield was spotted only 40 feet's distance from the car before it disappeared over a large, unpopulated, wooded area. The witness was headed towards. God, I could do with John for this in Minnesota. Witness was headed towards Oconomowoc. Oconomowoc. I'll try that way. When he spotted the strange object hovering in the night sky, when his car began experiencing medical difficulties. My lights on the dash began to flicker, along with lights of the vehicle, the witness told MUFON in a report. The object continued in a straight path across the road and into a wooded area. I lost track of the glowing object when it entered the wooded area. This is not the first strange UFO report to come out of Wisconsin. Other odd sightings included a UFO the shape of a soda can and a triangular object reported to have been dropping orbs over Wolf River.
Dropping orbs?
Orbs. Okay.
I think it was moisture. Somebody opened the can.
No other reports have been about strange fridge-shaped objects were reported on March 19th, though MUFON has given Wisconsin a UFO alert rating 5. And in the words of one of our listeners, Sanusi, the appliance of science.
Actually, you want to maybe worth mentioning that to Ben? He might be able to.
I'm actually going to ask him about that.
Yeah.
There's another thing I want to ask him about as well that's in the observations. Right, spring is a time of renewal, but rebirth and reinvention. Looking out the window, the weather doesn't appear to be spring-like, but it's here all the same. This cycle of rebirth and reinvention doesn't just apply to nature beginning the cyclical regrowth after a cold winter. It also encompasses our re-emergence into the world after semi-hibernation during the cold winters. Paranormal investigators are no different than the rest of society. I think I'm reading this, I should have read it later, but never mind. During winter, our cases dry up as even the ghosts appear to deem the weather too nasty. Any cases that we do schedule are at the whim of the weather, sometimes having to be cancelled at the last minute due to snowstorms. Some investigators use this downtime to self-reflection, see what happened in the past year, examine the victories and the low points, and use those experiments to shape the oncoming year. We analyse what worked for us and what didn't, and use the knowledge to make us a better team. Perhaps that's what we should do. This is what shadow chasers did in their winter hiatus, and they looked back at the last year, and they have been able to accomplish a lot of amazing things, things that wouldn't be possible. So maybe that's what all us should do.
What, close down for the winter?
I'll be careful, he might come in early, guys. Handsome.
Well, I mean,
It'd be a good idea, wouldn't it? You know, because I must admit, with Christmas coming up, and then you've got January when nobody's really interested in doing anything because of Christmas.
no, this is true. I mean, I read something the other day. It's not quite where it's not where you was, but you know, in America they have this groundhog.
Oh yeah.
Cincinnati Sam or something they call it, something like that.
Yeah.
Something weird. The first one.
Proximity Sam or something.
That's
like
the one.
Yeah.
It came out early this year,
Mm-hmm.
which signified an early spring.
Yeah.
Some lawyer in America is gonna sue the groundhog because it lied. Because obviously they're full of snow.
Yeah. Only in America. Well, in Honduras, remember we've been talking about these mutilated animals of late. Yeah. There's been a lot of them, hasn't there? There's been 42 mutilated sheep in Comayagua. Comador. Yeah, someplace. In Honduras. In the centre of Honduras, right, reports of dead animals showing in size and on their neck are emerging from Comayagua. Everyone's laughing at me, tongue twisting again. Sanasa authorities look into animal killings on properties belonging to the Congressman Valentin Suarez. Rumours about the
Chupacabra.
that's the word, have gained strength as a result of the death of a large number of sheep on a property belonging to a political representative of that province. And it happened a couple of days ago. At 5 a.m. they found them or something. Others had bled to death, and nearly 42 animals were lifeless and another 10 injured. So obviously there's something going on. The cost of each animal is between 1,000 and 1,500 lempiras or something. The thing messed up in printer. And Suarez said the farm's staff will keep a nocturnal watch on hopes of finding any clue of what may have clarified the situation. So maybe there's something going on. Right, back to England.
Yeah, and Tigger's just joined us.
Has he? Good evening, Tigger. Bouncy bounce, Tigger. Right, on to England. Well, sort of England as such.
Sort of.
Well, yeah, because it's on American TV show, program, channel, I think. Pick TV. I'm assuming it's American, but it's all part of the Sky TV network. But apparently there was a showing of an old Most Haunted program. The one where they were with Derek Acora at Chatham Dockyard. Do you remember that one, Steve?
I do.
Yeah. Well, apparently there's been uproar.
Because you were reminiscing, because you know the Dockyard.
Yes, I do. My Uncle Joe used to work there. So, and I was from Chatham anyway. But anyway, that's beside the point. But there was just some disturbance of the show featuring Derek, where he was being possessed during a seance by a number of people, including a child who was whipped and a woman who was said to have murdered children. So I don't know whether you've seen this one or not, guys, but I'm sure you would have done. And I'm just trying to... I'm sure you would have seen it, but it's been repeated at roundabouts on living and stuff like that. But this was shown at 6 p.m. In the evening of October 17th, and Ofcom had finally ruled it to have been unsuitable for that time of night because of the children. Sky argued that Most Haunted was established as an entertainment program, and it did not have a sizable audience among children. But however, Ofcom said a significant number of children could have been watching at this time. But like I said before, on a different note, we've been watching programs at 5 o'clock, which have been showing a couple of men in bed together. They're not doing anything, but they're just saying, talking and saying good night. You know what I mean? But it's it's this day and age, isn't it, really? But it was only that program. Anything else wasn't a problem. They could have showed that up at 6 o'clock. Poor Derek getting it in your neck again, I suppose, in some way, shape, or form. But that was in the Mail, I think. There was another report in the Mail where Michelle Keegan has thanked a psychic for warning her ex-boyfriend would cheat on her, be unfaithful. He was with a band, apparently, with another person, and apparently the couple split in the summer after 19 months of dating, when photos was published in one of the Red Tops showing the pop star kissing a blonde girl in a Newcastle nightclub. So, see, these psychics have got something to justify things, haven't they?
Oh, so,
You know what I mean? Some of these psychics can actually come up with something, and they actually work. You know what I'm saying?
well, a lot of psychics wouldn't like to pass that kind of news on, would they?
No, this is it.
I'm sorry, love, but your boyfriend's going to cheat on you with some blonde.
Right, I'm going to save this next one for Ben, because it was, along with the other one that I mentioned. But I'm just going to, because he's already on Skype, so we'll come back to just get that Honduras one and get his take on that, and also the refrigerator incident. So we'll sort that one out. But just the last two here I have for you. First of all, we saw the loss of a very well-known writer last week, James Herbert, and we've spoken about him before, and unfortunately we didn't get him on the show, but we have spoken about him and his we've published or advertised these series that he had on, or that was adapted from his book, the crinkly bottom thing. What's the crinkly bottom? That crinkly thing.
Crinkly
What
Hall.
it's called now. Yeah, crinkly hall. So but unfortunately he died. But he was one of the most enduring horror novelists of his time. And after his death, obituaries revealed two crucial autobiographical details: that he was prone to shockingly vivid dreams and was brought up as a Roman Catholic. Herbert's acknowledgement of nightmares as a contribution to stories that sold 54 million copies is striking, because any tally of the profits made from popular entertainment over the last two centuries suggests a clear link between the most enduring forms of storytelling and the most frequent request of the nocturnal picture house of our own subconscious. So if the images created in the heads of sleepers were downloaded, it's likely that the majority of narratives would be sexual romantic fulfillment, comic misunderstanding or humiliation, horrifying pursuit and capture, and the continued presence of our beloved dead. And these scenarios best fill the cinema and literature industry till was when solidified into the genres of romance, pornography, ghost stories, farce, and with Herbert as one of the examples of horror. So somebody who's going to be much missed for all these books that he does bring out on the subject.
Yeah.
But I haven't really got time to read any more of that.
Nigel is alluding to the fact that it may have been the psychic that her boyfriend was cheating with.
Possibly. You never know. So
It doesn't say whether the psychic was blonde or not, does it?
no, it doesn't. So and as I say, Neil hasn't come in yet, has he?
Not yet.
I'm just asking him how he is. Are you ready?
Evening, Jen.
Evening,
Jen.
Jen.
That's
Hi,
it.
is this where we go for Ben's talk? Yes, my lovely. It's just a friendly. Basically, down to earth
Chat.
talk show. Okay, it's nothing like Radio 1 or anything like that. So just
No.
enjoy yourself.
apart from Steve Wright's big show, we're better.
Yeah. So
And Ben will be joining us
in
about
2 seconds time, because I'm about to ring him.
About to ring him now. Go for it.
Okay,
Go.
he's just said that he's all ready for me. So okay, so let's get him on the line. So you've just made it in time, Jen. Okay, so let's just give him a call, shall we?
Debbie's counting down.
Hi, Ben.
How are ya?
How are you?
Good.
It's nice to have you back on the show.
Thank you. How's the connection?
So how's things with you?
Oh, things are good. So busy. Super busy.
They're all swooning in the chat room again. You know what you do to them, don't you? So, I believe, unfortunately, the show that we originally spoke about that was coming to Edinburgh isn't happening this year.
Yeah, they cancelled it a couple months ago.
Yeah, I know. I spoke to Yari, but hopefully they're going to be sorting something else out in the new year.
Yeah, I hope so. I talked to another guy out here at the UFO Congress, and he said that he's going to try and put something together for the fall.
Right. Okay. Is that in America?
Well, the Congress is out here, but he also wants to do one in Edinburgh. So
Right.
That's cool.
That'd be good then.
yeah, we'll see.
Any plans for you to come to the UK this year?
Well, apart from that, no. So if that
Ben.
doesn't, yeah.
We were going to get together. Have an
Weren't you
investigation.
guys putting something on?
Pardon?
I said, weren't you guys thinking of putting on an event?
Well, we do our own paranormal investigations. You're more than welcome to come and join us for that, but I can't pay you to come over. We're only a non-profit group, unfortunately. I don't know. So what you been up to anyway, Ben? What's been happening on your side of the water and paranormally, and what's happening with the show?
Well, unfortunately, the show has not been ordered for pickup yet, so we're staying busy doing. I travel the country doing different paranormal events and lectures. And I also started getting into TV production.
Right. Okay.
So I have a couple shows that are in development. One of them is a paranormal show,
Yeah.
and another one has has nothing to do with paranormal. But we got about half a dozen of them, and we kind of farm them out to production companies that we think would be good fits, and we go from there. So I do that. And I also start a night vision business company.
Yeah.
So we sell night vision and thermal equipment. We're trying to make that more affordable, especially for the paranormal groups. And I also am a firearms instructor, so I do that on the side.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell. So, I've been looking at some of the news reports that's been going on in the paranormal news. There's not really been much. It's been a lot over in America, though. I've got a couple of pointers I need to ask you all, if that's okay. If you've
Okay.
got any opinions on them. You obviously keep your ear to the ground with this sort of stuff, I take it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
I get stuff forwarded to me every day, so I
Do
try to
you?
keep up.
Perhaps you should forward it to me. I'll have more to talk about. Refrigerator-shaped UFO. This was recently in our news. So,
Huh.
it's the new C, being appliance of science. So, what's this about this UFO-shaped refrigerator and cans and stuff? Soda cans and triangular objects dropping orbs over Wolf River. Is
Well,
it true? Is it fake?
I haven't heard of that particular one with you guys, but it's not the first time that one's been reported. That exact description was given in Skinwalker Ranch in Utah, and they reported Winnebago shaped UFOs too, huge like motorhomes and flying refrigerators. I don't know, like it seems like it might have something to do with drone activity and these kind of weird shaped craft, or it could be something completely different. Very strange indeed.
Okay, and the other thing, there's another one I'm going to mention in a minute, but the other thing is, I didn't quite mention it in the observations. I thought I'd save it for you, seeing as we were running out of time just back then. A shape-shifting reptile from outer space guards President Obama. Have you heard of this?
That's gotta be
We've seen
true.
the post on YouTube.
That was a funny video.
It was very funny, and it sounded to me as like somebody had used one of them online voice generators for the narrative. You'll have to excuse me. I've had a stroke since I last saw you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Or rather, last spoke to you. So if my wording's coming over a bit weird, I'm sorry about that. But
No worries.
but as I say, shape-shifting reptile. What's this about all this? Have you seen it? Do you know
Well,
about it?
that's new also. For me, I know that they accuse just about every president.
Well,
of
apparently,
being
apparently, if you believe the video that's been put on with it, the White House deployed at least one reptile guard as recently as this month. The narrator, he actually used the text-to-speak program, suggests a bald-headed G-man protecting Obama during his March 4th speech to the American Israel Public Affairs Committee could be a shapeshifter alien humanoid working for the powers that be. Could it caught in a high-definition video during an event of the Zionist cabal? I'll send you the link over and you can have a look for yourself.
What's the evidence? Did they say that his eyes looked weird or something?
Well, what
or
they've done is they've sort of like put some sort of heat thing over, and the way they've showed it in the video. But then again, there's so much programs out there, aren't there, that you can actually distort things. It's just ridiculous. You are actually part of our KTPF show page on Facebook, and if you look under your poster,
Uh-huh.
the link is actually there. It says Obama Alien. You can have a look at that later on the YouTube thing. So, but
I'm on the page now. Is it okay? I see the chat room. Is it on that page?
right. It's on the Facebook page.
Oh, on the Facebook. Okay.
Yeah. If you go to the Facebook page, KTPF Talk Show.
Yeah.
Yeah, underneath your poster, which, may I add, I did copy and paste what you said. Thank you for calling us one of your favourite radio shows.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
It's underneath there, but I will actually copy and paste that link and put it on your put it to you as a personal message so that you can see for yourself. But
Okay.
as I say, we get a lot of this stuff over here. What do you think to these stories about reptiles and stuff in the government or whatever?
Oh, it's like the stuff that comes up in the National Enquirer. If you go on YouTube, you can see if you just Google reptilians,
Yeah.
shapeshifters, it's a whole segment of people who believe that not only are aliens among us, but they've infiltrated these hybrids and taken on human host bodies. And if you look carefully when they slow down the video, they say that you can see the slanty reptilian eyes or something like that, where their face sort of changes form while they're talking, and it's quite hilarious, honestly. There's like, I think they should take a blood sample if they
Yeah, that'd be the best way, wouldn't it? It really would. So, well, just to let everybody know in the chat room, Ben's actually on Skype. Okay, so if anyone wants to call, you can call us on 0844, 414-3982 if you want to ask a question to Ben. That's 0844 414-3982. Or you can ask a question in the chat room. So he's here to answer your questions. Okay. Right, back to you, Ben. You're one of 6 children. Okay. Has any of your siblings followed in your path or your career path at all?
No. I've got a brother who he wants to become the Bigfoot expert, and he's always asking me, like, what can I do? I want to be on the show, this and that. And I'm like, well, you got to start reading a lot of books first of all.
Yeah.
And he's got another job, but what he has helped me with is a little bit of research, which is great. But we all have an interest in it. Every single one of us, some more than others, especially my father.
Yeah.
We're really into the UFO sky watching. I've had my mother and my aunt go on ghost hunts with me, and I thought they'd be kind of against it, but they were totally into it. My mom is like asking questions and running around and trying to break into places she shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Really funny.
I don't know. Things mothers would do.
I think that's cool. He can go out and do something like with his mum.
Yeah, it is cool. So at least you can tell that she's actually supporting you. As I say, some mothers will think, what do you think you're doing and that. But then again, you're A, you're a professional. B, you are you've succeeded in this line of work, haven't you? Really?
Well, I think I've had some success. I think anytime you can work in the paranormal and actually get paid for it, it's a success. We have all these groups, which I've started groups before, and it's great, but it's not like you go to someone's house and say, hey, look, all of our equipment costs all this money, all of our time, do you mind, we charge. No, you don't do that. It's just, unless we're actually catching the ghosts and putting them in the, containment unit, the Ghostbusters, then we're not going to be charging people.
No, this is it. We've got a question in the chat room for you. Ghost Rider has asked, as a fan of the X-Files, does the FBI have a section that investigates paranormal cases?
Well, if they did, if it were secret, I couldn't say.
No, obviously.
But what I can say is that they publicly have, investigated. If you go on their website, go to the vault, they've got a lot of documents of things that they have. In fact, I just heard yesterday their UFO files are the #1 requested files they have.
Wow.
ever. So that's ahead of like the JFK assassination and everything else. So
Yeah.
you go there. They also in the 70s did have an investigation into cattle mutilations.
Hmm.
And so you can take a look at that. So yeah, they have over the years been called to and have investigated paranormal type events.
On the subject of mutilation, one of the observations that I've read out recently today was to do with Honduras. There's been quite a few sheep that have been. Was it sheep that I said?
It was sheep.
Yeah, 42 mutilated sheep. And seeing as you're American, you can correct my vocabulary on this. From Comayagua. Does that sound right? In the central of Honduras?
Let me Google this.
Comayagua in central Honduras. There's been 42 mutilated sheep, apparently, and they put it down to the possibility of the famous chupacabra.
Okay, I got it. Yeah, it's Comayagua. It's more of, it's not straight Spanish. It's more of a mixed Indian name. Yeah, Comayagua. It's very interesting here. You are more up on this apparently than I am.
We try to be.
42.
I know. We've been doing a lot of this for the past couple of weeks. There's been a lot of mutilated animals that have actually come on, and said about it.
Lots of dead fish and all sorts
dead
of
fish.
Well,
there's a beach also that ended up with
thousands of fish on it.
quite a lot of animals, mammals and stuff, dolphins and stuff. Are you still there, Ben?
Yeah.
Oh,
The animals, yeah, for sure. Part of one of the lectures I give talks about all of that. It's not as typical to have something like this where you've got like an injury mutilation per se. But the animal deaths are continuing. They started sort of in mass back in about 2009, 2010.
Yeah.
And they've been happening all over the world. And millions of fish, crabs, dolphin, penguin. So just about any type of animal. So it doesn't seem like it's isolated to, a susceptible, type of bird or something like that. It's happening to all animals. So, I mean, the next question would be like, could that happen to people? I mean, what's affecting them?
Well, this is it. I think the recent one I heard was with the many from the sea was near Peru or something. And it's just, you think, could it be some sort of pollution theory, but where's it coming from? Is it maybe their eruption underneath the sea that's causing some sort of discharge of something that's polluted it?
Yeah, it's so hard to tell because, for example, in Arkansas and Louisiana in 2010, actually it was the New Year's Eve 2011, they found thousands of dead starling and sparrows, and their conclusion after the necropsy, which is the animal autopsy, was that they said that it looked like they had a blunt impact trauma, so that they either ran into each other or into buildings because they were scared away by fireworks. So, I mean, that's the first time we've ever heard of that happening, and that all the birds collided into each other at once. It seems really suspicious.
Yeah, I was wondering whether the Reggie Debs and that was on the chat room, whether that could be something down to sonar or something sonic that's affecting the birds.
Sonar, yeah. There were some more deaths in Utah around an Air Force base where the Air Force base actually came out and said that the bird deaths were inadvertently caused by one of their radar towers that has, I guess, a lot of an ability to direct a lot of energy in one certain location, and that either confused or maybe fried the birds' brains. I'm not sure. Other people blame HARP, which is the government program, for the high altitude radio propagation. I believe it's high. Yeah, I don't remember the exact acronym, but they're the ones that they believe are manipulating weather also have the ability to target areas like that are affecting animals. So they say.
Right. Well, we have another question in the chat room. I want to take this before I lose it. Get a bit of a feedback there for some reason. Jen said, where are we? If given the choice, would Ben rather be on a show like Fact or Fate, or continue providing lectures?
Wow. Well, that is a tough choice, because I really love lecturing. If it were like a continual thing, they're kind of more difficult to produce, though. I mean, I spend months and months on my lectures, and the different episodes we film, probably like a couple weeks, to kind of get ready for it, and then you film that one and move on. So I'd probably say filming. I like being on the road. In both cases, you get to travel, but it seems like I'm learning more new stuff when we're filming.
Yeah.
There's a question there from Chris.
Can I just ring you back quickly, because we seem to have an echo, Ben?
Sure.
Don't know what's happened. I'll try again. I'll ring you back in a sec.
Okay.
And I'll make a note of this question.
Right, hopefully. We're not getting an echo now, are we, guys? No? It must be to do with the Skype. Let me just ring him back again. Hi.
Hi.
I don't know what happened there. All of a sudden we started getting an echo in.
Is that better on your end?
That sounds a bit better. Okay.
Okay.
Probably Skype messing up now and again. You know what it's like.
So shapeshifter aliens.
Yeah. So, I take it. Have you just been on the chat room at all? Because there are some things going on there about crabs and stuff, and not the sea kind. Sorry, and lobsters.
We started talking about fish, so
that's because you was going on about fish and stuff like that. But they have actually calmed down. They're not exactly. They're thinking it more than swooning on the actual chat room.
Yeah, Chris has asked the question. He said, "Have you heard of a guy who comments on Special Forces Lieutenant General W.G. Boykin warns of engineered economic collapse?"
Pardon? Did you get that?
I've engineered collapse. Yeah, not him particular. I haven't heard of him.
All right.
Yeah, he doesn't actually say why he wants to answer the question.
What is this that it's on about?
Yeah, can you give us some more info, Chris?
Emphasize what that's all about, please, Ben.
Chris.
Well, it's probably referring to, like we have all these countries that are kind of approaching financial ruin. Cyprus, I think, this past week, and the Euros, deciding if they're going to bail them out, and here in the U.S. It would seem, I mean, I don't like to get all political, but some people, I can see their point. It's a valid conspiracy if you were into conspiracies.
Right, so that's what it's about, is it?
Yeah, he said, Chris said that he's supposed to know about it all in the US.
Yeah, this guy's supposed to know about it all or something.
I think what it is it just a lot of people are seeing things that just don't make sense as to the decisions our politicians make, and if they really care about our country or other countries, why are they, making decisions that would appear to put us in financial ruin, and so a lot of people believe that, it's being engineered that way for a collapse so that we all become this new world order and whatever, blah, da, da, da.
Right, okay. And going back to some of the questions Steve wants to ask you here. Of all the things you are qualified to do, would you say what would you say was the most... Let me try again.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm tongue-tied.
Of all the things that you're qualified to do, what would you say was the most useful in your work and life in general?
Of all the things I'm qualified to do, well, probably my interviewing experience, because I think I really have a sense of, when people are being truthful with me or not, and how to get thorough information for a case, I would say that was the biggest help. It's not so much that anyone can read books and stuff about lying, but it's really getting the experience of talking to enough people and being lied to every day, and that's what I experienced in working in investigations. And so you bring that to the paranormal and to cases and talking to witnesses, and it's pretty similar.
Yeah. When you was, I take it you're no longer part of the FBI now.
No, I'm not.
Right. Well, when you was there anything of the paranormal nature that you can talk about that you would say, yes, that is paranormal, or whether it was a UFO or whatever?
No, I mean, I can't. Of course, if it were an ongoing case, I couldn't talk about it. But anything that I could talk about I could just tell you, at least where I was working, it was not a common occurrence to to be assigned cases like that.
Yeah.
I did get phone calls all the time though when I was working the desk, and a lot of schizophrenic people. So they would call up and would say things like, "Take the implant out of my ear, bye," and they'd hang up, or they'd come in and make a report, and they'd be very, very sane, rational, until they started going off about the microchip.
Yeah.
That's in their arm, and they want us to remove it because it's ours and things, and like. So yeah, unfortunately, it seems like every schizophrenic has a delusion about the government as well, and we get to hear about it.
Yeah. Charlotte in the chat room would like to know your thoughts about portals. What's the FBI's slant on them?
Well, I really would not be qualified to say what the FBI thinks about them. But personally, I have an open mind.
Yeah.
I that's something I'd never really, it seems so Twilight Zone, and I really.
Maybe when you come to the UK, you can go and see Nigel's portal that is found in Settle.
Really?
Yes. So we're going to be going up there sometime this year with our EMFs and K2s and stuff like that. So.
Yeah.
Well, what I think is really cool about it is that when you get to these so-called hot spots, there have been enough very credible stories I've heard, and I've never seen one, but credible stories where they have claimed to witness different orbs of light or seeming like figures coming through, like a sort of a doorway type thing. And so I'm open to it. I mean, if there is a interdimensional existence, then maybe they come through a specific point, and if we call that point a portal, I'm open to that.
Well, if you go onto our chat room, Nigel Charlotte has put his website on there for you. All right, and they've also mentioned that he has a book about it as well. It's an in-joke with the chat room people that it's always mentioned every week.
Are you ready, guys? Because I want me commissioned this time.
Yes.
The book is called Sir Isaac Newton and the Secret Sundial.
Yeah.
I got it right here.
So yeah, if you go onto the actual chat room there, which you've been in before, there is the sundial.webnode.com if you want to pop on that later on to have a look at. And
I've got a question from Jen for you.
Jen in America.
Jen, she's from Colorado.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She says, has any religious views affected your work with the paranormal?
Yeah, it has, and I think we try not to let it affect us, but it more so affects what I'm interested in studying. For example, I always had a belief in the afterlife, a firm belief, but when I was a kid, I thought, okay, I know people who've had experiences where grandma and grandpa have come back and visited and talked to them after they've died, but I didn't believe in hauntings because, most religions, I guess, sort of, they kind of teach you ghosts per se that hang around and, ooh, try to scare you and hang around. That's not true. Those are for kids. Well, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
growing up. But it wasn't until I caught my first EVP, and especially since I've seen objects moving by themselves and things, that the idea of haunting, for me, I think has really changed. So yeah, it's more so like the things that I'm interested in, and also, being religious myself, there are places you don't want to go, because I do believe evil exists, and people who don't believe in evil, I think, can be entering into kind of dangerous areas if they don't, become attentive of it.
Hmm.
Yeah. And Chris has asked, what was the most scary paranormal investigation that you've done?
Well, the most scary probably was the battleship North Carolina, where we had objects, like dishes, the tops to like serving trays slamming down right next to us. We also had, our camera somehow got picked up out of the equipment case and got chucked across the room. So I think that it was whatever was there was not happy we were there, or was just messing with us. But that was kind of scary.
Right. Okay. So, of everything you have done, what would you say was the most meaningful, Ben?
The most meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's nice. Like that I did something good for someone, or
that was the most meaningful to you, Ben.
To you, Ben.
Well, I think taking a look at some of these historic cases, because, for example, the battleship, or I'm sorry, the battle over Los Angeles UFO case from 1942, I think has been looked at from so many different angles, that it was really cool for me to add my value of experience and knowledge to that, hopefully to further, enlighten people who've been doing this for years and years and years. So that was really cool. I like doing the historic cases. I like doing the big famous cases, and anything that you can do to like add to that.
Right. And you believe in the importance of volunteerism and serve on your committee's search team and the disaster action team for the America's Red Cross. Well, we are lucky here in England, but don't have as much in the way of disasters as you do, except for flooding down in Cornwall and stuff like that. What could we do to be ready should something happen?
That's a great question. Yeah, I'm huge into preparing for disasters. I have probably about 5 different what we call 72-hour kits, and I'm sure it's just a matter of time before you guys get hit with something massive. We're seeing we're seeing even earthquakes, in places that are not supposed to have earthquakes.
Yeah.
And things like that. So make sure that you have like enough food and water, for at least a good 3 days. If you can, put away enough stuff for a good month, because there really is not, like, we're so used to being able just to go down to the grocery store and be like, oh, okay, I need batteries, I need this food or that. If there were a real emergency, the shelves would be emptied in a matter of just a few hours. And then you're left on your own. And then you're just pleading that the government is going to come and save you and bring you your food and everything else. And that's irresponsible, and it's ridiculous to think that. So you have to be in charge of your own, survival and accountability for you and your family.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, you kind of have the edge on us in America because of your gun laws. You're allowed to go out and hunt.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to have them.
And
I was going to say that. Yeah, but even here in the U.S., I do teach gun classes, and I believe that they've made it a political thing here, and it shouldn't be. It's a Second Amendment, that we do, believe in that right. However, ammunition can run out very easily. So I don't know what your laws are there about bows and arrows, but you might want to get into archery.
Basically, if it's a weapon that can kill, they don't want us to have it. We're not even allowed to carry a pocket knife.
No.
Watch some old episodes of MacGyver. You can build things.
Talking about being prepared and everything, we had an American novelist on a few weeks back called D.A. Roberts. I don't know whether you've heard of him out there. You should have done. He's written a novel called The Ragnarok Rising, The Awakening. And it's all about zombies and stuff like that. Yeah. Now, Green Lee would like to know, what's your plan? Are you ready for it? If there was a zombie invasion. Now I'm looking at
pretty
it.
Much.
You know, I'm actually looking at it at this drug thing, like the Miami guy, the Miami zombie, and stuff like that.
Right.
You know, but could there be a zombie apocalypse sort of thing? And
well,
if so, it's going to start in America. I'm sorry.
It always starts there first.
I guess it all depends on what people consider zombies. People, dying and coming back to life, I doubt it.
No.
A viral epidemic where people aren't themselves and they're kind of like delusional and running around and trying to hurt people. Yeah, I think that's possible. So it is kind of like the same. You would prepare for a disaster, but it's funny because I have so much stuff to prepare for disasters, but you don't want to be that guy. Everyone looks at you and you're like, oh, okay, he's kind of a crazy prepper. But I mean, in all honesty, if something went down, who are they going to come to? To you.
Yeah.
So if you're going to prep, don't tell anyone except your family.
Well, apparently, up in Scotland, my son runs a paranormal group, and he actually went on a zombie course, didn't he, Steve?
He did, and they've actually part of the course was to teach him how to make a crossbow out of a chair.
Yes. So so he said he's prepared,
and he passed.
He did pass,
and so did his wife to be.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's fun zombie stuff. Like, and I don't know. How do you kill them? You're supposed to cut their head off? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, according to the films, it's a headshot every time.
Yeah, it's a headshot every time.
Yeah, I think you have to remove their head.
Yeah, this is it. Right, to take you sort of off the topic a bit, but going back to your FBI days in a way, I'm going to ask you a question that Simply Joe put on earlier. She's been very, very good tonight, but she would like to know whether you still have the handcuffs.
I've got 3 pair of handcuffs.
Well, there you go.
Well, there you go, Joe. You don't have to use your fairy ones.
And if you come take one of my classes, I'll show you how to use them.
There you go, Joe. They're all been buzzing about when you come over again because you said about us all going on to an investigation and meeting up. Yeah, they're all looking for it. They're all waiting for it. So you're gonna have to keep us informed, Ben.
I sure will. I really there was a group out of Liverpool too that was talking about doing something this fall, but so far nothing's been put on paper.
Right. Well, Jen's been advertising that if any of us are out in America soon, you're going to Colorado apparently in November.
I am. I'll be there in April as well. I'm going to the Stanley Hotel, which is the inspiration for The Shining, where Stephen King wrote, the first part of it, and the movie The Shining was kind of based on that hotel.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. So, is there anything that you would really like to do, and what is next for Ben Hansen?
Well, I've stayed busy here. Like I said, the weather is starting to turn pretty nice here in Southern California. So, the rest of my day, I think I'm going to go and try and buy a bicycle. I haven't ridden one for years, so that'll be kind of funny. I in between working from home at the moment, I try to enjoy myself, go surfing, go rock climbing. I have, an event probably every month, or sometimes, twice a month, and then we're gonna get some of these other shows going. So just in case they don't, renew Fact or Faked, we'll have some other shows on the air for everyone to enjoy. So don't worry.
Well, keep us posted on that. We'll advertise you all the way. You know that.
Well, thank you.
So, and just out of curiosity, if we was to say to you, come and join us on an investigation, what would be the terms and conditions on that?
Well, I charge $1 million.
Wow!
Well, that'd be fine because I'm winning the lottery on Friday.
Well, because the dollar is so weak compared to the pound, so that's I have to charge that.
You really charge $1 million?
Well, I would go for euros. At the moment, they're better than we are.
No, like if I even just had a way over there, pretty much, and the time to do it, I would love to come back.
I'm just going on here. Watch out, Ben. They will raffle you.
Start a fundraiser. I'll come over.
But obviously, if you do come over, you will come and see us, won't you?
Yeah. Where are you guys based again?
I'm actually in Manchester.
Okay.
Yeah. In the northwest of England, but I'm sure I'm prepared to get my husband to drive to see you. If you're not too far away.
I believe I've been through Manchester. I know I've been in Birmingham.
Yeah, it's just a bit north from there and just south of Liverpool.
Okay, yeah, for sure. I've been through there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So,
there's still so much to see. So much I want to do still in the UK.
Yeah.
There is indeed. Lucy Desmond says, do you even believe in zombies, Ben?
Yeah. I think she's just popped in.
Yeah, she's only just come in.
So, do you actually believe in zombies?
Well, not the traditional sense of dying and coming back alive.
No.
Like that. I don't think I do, but I believe there could be some viruses and diseases where people's flesh like kind of falls off. They get delusional and they walk around like that. And they're kind of out of their mind. So yeah, that's possible.
Yeah. So there's no fate or fortune. Fate or fortune. Fate or fact.
Yeah.
Fact or fate at the moment.
Season 4.
Season 4 is that?
Nothing right now. Are you guys all caught up now?
I think they're showing 3 at the moment.
Yeah, I think we're still on 3.
Okay.
So there's season 4 left, is there?
No, that's the one that's coming.
No, nothing after season 3. They've been showing a lot of reruns here, but
okay.
Yeah, like I said, we're working on a lot of stuff that we hope to get going pretty soon.
Right. Well, you'll have to keep us informed because we still need our Ben Hansen in the UK. I'm telling you now.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you have a lot of fans that are very loyal and love to watch your shows.
Yes, definitely.
We'll have to do a fan meetup, when I get over there.
You said that last time, so that's why I'm hoping you're coming over.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you guys decide the location, and I'll put you in charge of getting the word out, and I'll tell you when I get there.
As soon as we know you're coming over, we can arrange a date. And
the orphanage. That'll do. The orphanage.
The orphanage, yes, the orphanage in Liverpool. That's a nice one. But anyway, so just before you go, can you just say hello to everyone in the chat room for us?
Yeah, hey guys, I can see some of your names here: Green Lee, Ricky Debs, B19, Ghost Rider. All you guys, thank you so much for tuning in and for having me on, and have a great. I don't even know what day it is. That's how turned around I am.
Well, I actually thought it was Tuesday this morning.
Well, yeah. You're always welcome to come back on the show. So hopefully, if you're doing anything in the next 6 months, we can get you back on and find out what you're doing.
Yeah. For sure.
So
just let us know.
As I say, our home is your home, my darling.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you very much again for your time. And we hope you have every success in the future and that you still stay somewhere where we can see you and enjoy whatever you're putting out for us.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Please take that in the right way. Okay, Ben. So love to everyone on the show. You know, all your friends out there that help you as well. And as I say, take care and all the best from us over here at the Keeping the Paranormal Friendly KTPF Community Talk Show.
Thank you.
All right, good night. Bye.
Hi, Ben.
Well, there you go. That was Ben. And he gave you all most of you a name check. So what did you think to that, guys?
Yeah, I think Joe's going to sulk, but he never mentioned.
I know, but at least he answered your question.
He did.
He said you can go over there.
Do his course and he'll handcuff. He'll put the handcuffs on.
He's going to buy himself a bike now. Well, I do like Ben. I must admit, he does. You know, he's very good.
He is,
isn't he? You know what I mean? He's using his handcuffs on me. I don't know. He's using his handcuffs on me. I don't need a name shout. I don't know. Well, we try and get the.
You tell him, Joe.
We do try and get as many as we can. You know, people on the show for you. So, as I say, if you know anyone that would like to come on the show, whether it be a paranormal group, even an individual who's got some stories for us, we can even do that as well. You can come on and have a 15 minutes, half hour, 45 minutes of fame and tell us what you're doing and what you're not doing. If you are an organisation, come on and tell us what you do. You know, if you've got a belief of some kind, if you're talking about portals or transfiguration, like hopefully Neil will be soon when I give him a ring, if he hasn't forgotten. So
I'm sure he hasn't.
You know, so I'm sure he hasn't. He'll be around somewhere. And I'm just saying thank you to Ben on here. So you know.
Yeah. Night, Jen. Glad you could pop in.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Jen. Hopefully you'll pop back soon. So,
obviously a big fan of Ben.
Yeah, definitely. No problem. Come back and join us and have a bit of a laugh with us, okay? So, but as I say, when it comes to the KTPF, I did put a big thank you out there last week. I must admit, I haven't been very good for the past couple of weeks, as you can understand. But Steve and I'm just going to reiterate what I did put on there. Would like to thank our listeners and guests for the support and encouragement. We don't want to be a commercial radio as such, as we just a small interactive chat room with relaxing conversation and fun. Although we do try to bring you great discussions and special guests, sometimes it may just be just us and you, our listeners. But whatever we are because of you, and we thank you for that. Okay, so and we really do. So hopefully you'll continue being with us. Yeah, it is fun. I love it.
We have a great bunch of guys come in the chat room every single week.
Well, this is it.
And every so often we get a new one pop in, like Jen today.
Yeah.
And hopefully she'll pop back another time.
Yeah, well, this is it. So all good fun. And what we're going to do now, we're going to do the paranormal events for you.
Although the way she's going to saying hello, saying goodbye to everybody individually, she'll be here till next week.
Hi, Lucy. Yes, I didn't say anything about you because you hadn't gone yet. Not that I meant that way. Where are you from, Lucy Deadman? Are you English? Are you from the UK or the US of A? But either way, it's nice that you come in as well and join us.
Yeah, she's new.
Bournemouth. Oh, not far away then. Or is that Bournemouth, USA?
No, that's...
But USA have got a load of English places, haven't they?
Yeah, but even the English Bournemouth is a long way from us.
Oh, yes, it's definitely a long way from us. But, you know what I mean, though? They've got Manchester, they've got Kent, they've got New Jersey, as in Jersey.
Yeah, she's UK.
Great. That's what we need. So
way down south.
Way down south. Are you part of a paranormal group, Lucy? Or are you just an individual who loves the paranormal? That's what we like to know. I like that. It says we've got one viewer on there, but when you look in the back door, we've actually got 20.
Yeah.
It's gone down a bit because I think some of them were fans of Mr. Ben Hansen, who we always thank for coming on. Right, I'm going to do the paranormal events for you. Can you do me a favour, Steve? Can you go over there and get ready to turn the mics down, please?
I can just
okay. Right, okay, so we'll be back after some words here. Individual who is interested in the paranormal. Right, okay, well, we're going to go to Paranormal Events for You.
We've got all the news right here. Don't go away.
Fed up of wading through the activities and events that other advertisers include? Find just what you're looking for at paranormaleventsforyou.com, your one-stop paranormal directory.
On the 31st of March, you can go down to Burton-on-Trent for the Burton Psychic Ghost Walks. After April now, and on the 3rd, the weekly Celestial Meditation and Enlightenment Group are meeting at the Friends Meeting House in Settle. On the weekend of the 13th and 14th, there's the MBS, that's Mind, Body and Spirit Show at the Monastery in Gorton. And on the 19th, there's a monthly psychic one-to-one readings now available in the Manchester area with medium Neil Munnerley, plus tarot and psychometry readings with intuitive clairvoyant Suzanne Lilly. And on the 20th of April, UK Shadow Seekers are going to the Masonic Hall in Liverpool.
So check out the one-stop paranormal directory for more investigations and events available now. Paranormaleventsforyou.com also offers banner advertising for only £10 per year. See our website for more details. Paranormaleventsforyou.com, your one-stop paranormal directory. Right, okay. I don't know what view he gave you then. Right, okay, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we've had Mr. Ben Hansen, and or Handsome as you call him. Now we have our very own handsome medium. It's Neil Munnerley, all the way from Liverpool, on the phone. Good evening, Neil.
Good evening, everyone.
Right, hopefully everyone can hear him okay. Got your mic there, Neil.
Okay.
So, can everyone hear him okay?
Yeah, he's even on his own mic.
Now the show starts. Well, see, it's awesome. I used to listen to Paranormal Hour in my local station on Wednesdays, but they were annoying. More like 15 minutes of talking about rubbish and the rest music and ads. We do not have music and ads. We're not a commercial radio, so we don't have to worry about that, do we, Neil?
No, we don't. No, we could always bring my good friend in, Gary Barlow. Who's absolutely fantastic.
He made me a friend at 3 o'clock this morning.
Who did?
Gary Barlow. I said, what are you doing up so late? Have you just got in?
Who, me?
No, Gary Barlow.
Oh, Gary Barlow. Well, you know, he's a celebrity, isn't he? You know.
All of a sudden he's like, Gary Barlow has accepted your friendship. I thought that was like 3 years ago. You know what I mean? I thought, thanks very much. Have you just got up or you just come in?
Yeah.
Well, he's probably got in drunk this morning and thought, who's that then?
Yeah, he said he hasn't been on Facebook for ages. So, but I don't know. So anyway, Mr. Neil Munnerley, what have you been up to?
What have I been up to? Work and work, I'm afraid.
Work and more work.
Yeah, all the boring stuff, you know, things that pay the bills and that. But,
so, you know. Right. So I'm just answering Ben here.
Yeah, Lucy, the only adverts that you'll hear on there are the events that you just heard there.
Yeah, that's all we do.
That's a free advertising for all the groups that are welcome to advertise on paranormaleventsforyou.com.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Right, Neil, what you said you're going to talk to us about Transfiguration.
Yeah, it's one of these subjects, isn't it, that it's not greatly talked about.
No.
But we do see a lot of mediums out there who sort of display these kind of things on websites and Facebook pages and things like that. Mm-hmm. And it's been a bit of a sort of a misconcept, if you like, and not a lot of people know a great deal about it.
Well, okay, then you're the man to tell us what's going on.
Oh, I'm the man to tell you, am I? I'm the great expert, am I?
Well, come on then. You want to talk to us?
Well, you are today.
Well, I just talk about my own experiences and my own knowledge, you know, and it's up to people out there what they make of that, you know. I don't confess to be an expert because I'm not. So, but my sort of dealings with Transfiguration, and it's one of these subjects that is tied in with physical mediumship, obviously.
Yeah.
And it's something that I've been practicing for a good 10 years now. And Transfiguration was one of the first things that I sort of got involved in as part of my training to be a physical medium. And it's connected with the channeling and everything else that's connected, obviously, with physical mediumship. But what a lot of people discuss is the facial changes. And it sort of makes me laugh, because a lot of mediums out there will actually advertise that their face changes shape, or the face will transform into the person that they're actually bringing through or channeling through. Mm-hmm. And 9 times out of 10, that's not the case. With Transfiguration, the entity that comes through, or the entity that's being channeled, will actually superimpose their own face over the top of the medium's face. So it's actually like a projection. Mm. So the face doesn't actually change shape, the bone structure doesn't change, the skin structure doesn't change. What you're seeing is a superimposed sort of projection over the top of the medium's face.
Right.
And we see this in discussions. Oh, his face changed shape, and he grew a moustache, and he grew a beard, and it sort of makes me sort of laugh, and think, well, you're a good medium if your face changed shape and your bone structure moved. Mm. No, it's just one of the things that comes over, and we sort of pick these mediums out as being, well, I shouldn't say it, but fake.
Yeah.
So Transfiguration. Sorry?
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, and I've drifted through thousands of people on Facebook who've all wanted to be friends and sort of join me on my journey, and you read some of the things that they've actually written about themselves, or they put these advertisements in. It's a bit of a laughing stock, really. But
yeah.
Who am I to judge? If a certain medium can change his bone structure, then fair enough. He's a better guy than I am.
Yeah.
But no, that's Transfiguration as a whole. And the other part of Transfiguration, or any physical mediumship process, one of the other questions that was asked was, why is it done in a red light?
Yeah.
And the reason why we use a red lamp or a red light is spiritual entities come through beyond our colour spectrum. So 9 times out of 10, an entity would appear in or near the infrared spectrum, which is out of our own colour spectrum. So that's why we don't see them. We only sense them, hence the word sensitive. It's only when they come closer to our own colour spectrum that we get to see them. And usually that happens when they sort of slow their own time down. So that's why we use a red lamp. It's a very, very soft colour, and it sort of represents near the colour spectrum of the infrared. So it just makes it a lot easier for the entity to come through, and it's not damaging. Obviously, if you use the bright light, it would damage them. And that's the reason why we use the red bulb.
Right.
Yeah, Debs said, is it a kind of shape-shifting?
No. No, when we Transfiguration is actually, like I was saying earlier, it's the spirit entity that we channel in Transfiguration will actually superimpose their own face over the medium's face. So it's just like a projection image. So it's just like somebody having a projector and flashing the picture on top of my face. So it would actually look, or it would appear that I would take on the facial similarities of that person that I'm bringing through.
Right. Nigel says it's called transmogrification. His guide does this to me. He said, my guide does this to me.
Yeah.
He places his face over my own and uses parts of my own physical makeup, how I look, to fill in the gaps of the picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is part of it. Yeah. And he's quite true in saying that. Yeah. Transmogrification is a word that most people wouldn't be able to say.
Yeah. Are you trying to be?
But transfiguration was another word that it's exactly the same word. It's exactly the same system. Transfiguration is just a transfiguration of the face, if you like, and that's why a lot of mediums go wrong with saying, "Oh, well, my face changed shape," and people get the wrong idea. But yeah, when Nigel was just explaining there about, sometimes an entity comes through and they're not so strong, there is a weak entity, and they struggle with making that projection. So yeah, when he says he's part of his own makeup to make up that picture, it's a bit like a jigsaw puzzle. You have to fill in the gaps. So yeah, he's perfectly right there.
Yeah, he said he was just using the posh word.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know. No.
Deb says, bit like Photoshop then, using layers.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, it's very, very similar. It's just like somebody with a projector across the room shining the picture on over the top of your face.
So, what's the difference between you doing it as part of a physical medium and like what happened to it in the group the other week at an Invest, where people actually saw somebody's face in the circle change?
Okay, right. This is a whole different subject that we're going to go on to.
Okay.
Which takes you away from transfiguration.
Right. Well, before you do, has this got anything has transfiguration got anything to do with the curtain issue?
The curtain issue?
Where they go behind the curtain and all that cupboard.
Well, physical mediumship used to be done many, many years ago, in the Victorian age, in a cabinet or behind the curtain, or that's going into the whole physical mediumship bit, where to prove that they were not moving objects in the room because the room had to be pitch black, then they had to be locked in a cabinet or tied to a chair, or the curtain was drawn across because they didn't want the spiritual energies to enter the room away from their own sort of area, and there's many, many reasons why they thought of that system. Another reason for the cabinet was obviously what they were trying to say was it holds the energy in a lot stronger around the medium. But to be honest, I've never ever used a cabinet. I've never used a curtain, and I've sort of I've worked very, very well in doing it that way from the start. So
because you have to have a black room, don't you? There can't be no light.
We've progressed along the years.
Yeah, but there's a black room. You have no light apart from this red light.
Yeah, that's proper physical mediumship, where we would actually channel an entity to come into the room, and that entity would then mess about with objects in the room, or will move objects in the room, or it will interact with people in the room and make itself known that way. So people would actually get to feel and see things happening. And that is physical mediumship as a whole. But transfiguration is different, because what you're doing is you're actually channeling that spirit within you. So the spirit's actually talking through you, but they're superimposing their face over yours. Yeah. So you would take on their appearance.
Right. Okay. And if you open the door or let any light in, what can that do?
That could damage the entity, and it could also damage the medium as well. Because don't forget, the medium is actually in a trance. It's part of trance mediumship as well. Yeah. To be able to channel, you must go into trance mediumship, which it does take a lot of practice. It's taken me many years to sort of get to the stage where I am, and I'm nowhere near on top form. So there's a lot of things that you've got to think about as well, and it's got to be in very strict controlled. It's got to be controlled very, very strictly. So anything like bright light would damage the medium, or could damage the entity that's being channeled. It's a bit like the old theory of if you were a coal miner and you were stranded down a mine for 40 days, and all of a sudden you come out into the daylight, it would damage your eyes.
Yeah. Right. Sharnek said, wonder if this is where the phrase two-face comes from.
That's just because I'm a Gemini.
Are you really?
I am, yes. I thought you would have known that.
I didn't even think about I knew when your birthday was, but I didn't think about the sign, to be honest with you.
Yes,
I see.
I'm one of the twins, yes.
I see. So...
They're always bloody trouble,
yeah,
then.
I'm schizophrenic and so am I.
So when Steve was going on about the other bit, what's the other bit you wanted to ask, Steve? You said we're moving on a bit.
Yes. We're talking about people within a group or within a circle, and they've seen sort of facial changes and things like that. And what you've got to remember is, when you're working within a group, say on a paranormal investigation, people will become aware of things around them. Their senses will become heightened. They'll start thinking of things. Things will be put into their head, and messages and all kinds of stuff going on. And what you've got to remember is, if there's a spirit entity in that room, they want to know who we are just as much as we want to know who they are. So they will play with us just as much as we will play with them. Mm. So, when people are seeing things like, oh, his face changed shape, they're not actually seeing that. No. What they're seeing is an imprint maybe in the mind, or it could be a trick of the light, or it could be a shadow, or it could be, something similar along them lines. So nobody can change the bone structure. Nobody can change the face shape. It's an impossibility, unless, I channeled one of the great, bone surgeons who suddenly got inside me and restructured my face. It's an impossibility.
Don't forget, guys, if you want to ask a question on this, Neil's here to answer any questions for you. Just out of curiosity, with all this transfiguration sort of stuff, with scrying, when people are looking and they're seeing things and their eyes are, perhaps they've got a monobrow or they've got a goatee or a beard or whatever, is this something similar?
It's an optical illusion. Scrying is an optical illusion.
Right, is that what you think?
It is. Right, okay. It is. It's not what I think, it's what I know. Right. Lots of people will argue with that, but it is an optical illusion.
But it's fun on investigation.
It's fun because people are actually seeing possibly a change in their own sort of face or whatever, but it's actually an optical illusion. If you stare at something long enough, it will change. Something around you will change.
Right. Okay.
So
they're all going to scream at you now.
So when we're on Invest, and I actually tell them it's a parlour game, I'd be right. Because I do.
It is a parlour game then, yeah?
It is a parlour game, yeah. Scrying is a very, very old parlour game. It is a parlour trick. Yeah. And if you train your thought, and when you're scrying, you're training your thought on one particular point in that mirror.
Yeah.
And you're staring, you're not blinking, you're staring. So you're very, very focused on that one part in that mirror. Mm. The optical illusion then takes place because your mind can't cope with the reflection that's coming back, and you're staring at the one point for so long. Plus, you've got the other thing to think about as well. We do have blind spots in our eyes that also affect changes. So there's certain parts that will be caused by the blind spot in your eye, which will also cause effects in that mirror image.
Right. Joe said Stu made me laugh the other week. He was telling a story about scrying, and he said, "You may change sexuality." I think he meant change sex. Shabba's come on. I don't know how long he's been sitting there in the wings, but he's only just come on. He said, "I agree. Scrying is an optical illusion. Remember the books where you stare long enough at the puzzle and you can see what was hiding behind it?"
Oh, yes.
Remember them pictures?
Yeah, they were big, weren't they, a few years ago? Yeah. Exactly the same thing. Yeah.
So what happens when people see spirits in mirrors when they stare at them?
Right. Okay. The whole thing about mirrors, I don't have a mirror in my bedroom, as you know.
Yes, I have to check.
Beyond popular belief that somebody said that I had a mirror above my bed, which is not true. Hence the reason why I took you up the bedroom, Sue, and showed you I did not have a mirror in my bedroom.
And I swear it was just for clarification, nothing else.
Yeah, someone said. Yes, someone actually said. Somebody actually said he had it above the bed, didn't they?
Somebody thought he had it above the bed.
Yeah, somebody said I had a mirror above the bed. I can't remember who it was, but there you go. No, I don't have a mirror in my bedroom. The simple fact is mirrors can be used as portals. and it's very, very easy. I'm very active when I'm asleep, spiritually, and I do attract a lot of things in sleep, and I'm woken up all the time, and of course I've got insomnia anyway, so it doesn't sort of bode well with me that the little sleep I do have, I am woken up. And the reason why I don't have a mirror is I don't want to bring something through that mirror that I have to deal with and send back during the night, because I do like my couple of hours sleep. So mirrors can be a gateway. They can be used as a gateway. They can be used as a portal, or whatever you want to call it, to bring an entity or a spirit through into this realm.
You've made me think of something there. I've got 2 in my bedroom, and I'm wondering. No, I've got one that's actually part of my wardrobe unit. Yeah, and I've got one that's on the wall that's by the side of my bed. Now, okay. I've been feeling that there's a lot of stuff happening by the side of my bed, and I'm wondering, because of my development of late, could this be? It
can be, yeah. Because when you're developing, you're not just developing yourself, you're developing that particular sense, the sixth sense that you're using.
Yeah.
You're actually developing that as well. So you are opening, more energy, if you like,
right.
and producing more energy through that sense that you're developing.
Yeah.
So if you've got a mirror next to your bed, what I'd do is I would cover it when you go to sleep.
Yeah. Because if you remember rightly, I told you about the time when I was trying to do a meditation.
Yeah.
And I thought Steve would come in to get the dog out, because I think she was trying to get up on the bed and was bothering me to pull her up.
Yeah.
Even though she can do it herself.
Yeah.
And I thought he'd come into the room to pick her up and shut the door, and he hadn't. But during that time, I heard somebody say Bob in my ear.
Okay.
Now, could this be possible that somebody's come through the mirror?
It could be, yeah.
Because I've not had that before.
It could be. Don't get me wrong. It is quite a hard thing to do for an entity to do on their own.
I understand that.
They do need, energy from us as well. So it's very unlikely that somebody would come through a mirror on their own, without obviously the person that's providing that energy helping.
Yeah.
But there are the odd ones that slip through. But if you've heard somebody calling, then that's possibly the entity wanting to come through that mirror or come through that gateway and wants you to help them.
Okay. Worth thinking about. Now, Neil, for those that don't know you,
so I think I better put a hook above the mirror so you can hang your dressing gown on it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going into my personal details. No, I'm not.
What personal details? I was just going to say, for those that are new on the show, because we've got quite a few people in on the chat room and listening tonight.
Yeah.
Can you just tell us a bit about yourself as a medium, where it all came from, and just so that they know where they're coming from? Because don't get me wrong, you get these people who do develop late in life, don't you?
Yes, we do.
No, you haven't.
Yeah. No, I started very early age. I seen my first spirit when I was 4, and I was quite comfortable with that, which shocked me a little bit, even at the age of 4. But my grandmother was a medium, and she was a very, very good friend of Doris Stokes. Only some people remember her. We're going back quite a few years now.
Yeah.
So Doris would be at the house quite often, and my grandmother would take us down there as well on holidays to where she lived down south. So we already had a connection of the paranormal going on within the household. My mother is quite gifted, but she's very, very scared of it. Mm-hmm. She has a lot of premonitions, and she works with that. She's quite happy to work with premonitions, and that's all she'll sort of use. But my grandmother took me sort of under her wing and at a very early age, and she sort of developed me from that stage, which I'm so grateful for. Beyond belief. Rest in peace. She was very, very. She was quite a hard grandmother. She was very, very sort of strict in her ways, but very, very soft-hearted.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful for that.
Right. Okay. And obviously you enjoy doing this sort of thing.
Oh, I love it. I love it with a passion. Always have done.
So.
I had to hide it for a while when I was in the forces.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Yeah.
No.
only a few choice friends knew, but
yeah.
It did actually help me.
Yeah.
And it helped others around me as well, because I sort of had this concept where we were actually in sort of places of war, shall we say, where we were, in sort of the middle of battle, and I would get these messages from my guide to do things and get us out of some very, very close shaves. So I've helped sort of other guys in battle that way. So there's been a few choice friends who've known about what I do and what I'm about.
Yeah.
But a lot of it was sort of kept secret while I was serving, because sometimes you can get a stigma attached to you.
So basically, you were a live version of camouflage, really, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you say? Would that be right in saying?
Well, to be honest, I should be dead now.
Well, yeah.
Quite a few times over, put it that way. Yeah. I've been through some strange things, put it that way, where it's been life and death situations, and things have happened which have saved me. So, yeah.
So, Shabba says he often recites Disney quotes in his mirror. I don't know why.
Okay.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. Simply Joe says sat red rum into it or something, or say red rum into it. Candyman says Reiki Debs. Now, what is it with all these sort of things? You know what I mean? Is it all Hollywood?
Well, it's a mixture of Hollywood.
Yeah.
And it's a mixture of
like Bloody Mary or something.
Yeah, Bloody Mary. It's a mixture of old stories that have come up. One of them used to be if we said the Lord's Prayer backwards.
Yeah.
It was supposed to summon the devil up.
I believe your daughter was going to say something about Bloody Mary 3 times, and you said, "Go and do it then," or something. But nothing will happen.
Exactly. Nothing will happen. It's just legends and stories.
Yeah.
That have come over the years. It's just it's rubbish.
Yeah, they're saying like Shabba actually asked Mirror Mirror on the Wall, who's the fairest of them all. I think he's getting a bit vain there. I'll have words with him on Saturday.
That's me in the gym, I'm afraid.
He also says Constantine traps a demon inside a mirror and smashes it to send it back to hell.
Okay. Now, there is some truth in that. And I don't really want to go into it too deep.
No, that's fine.
But that can be used as part of the exorcism process.
Oh, right.
But it's part of it is true, part of it isn't. But I'm not opening up to that one. But
no, we're not here to talk about anything like that. It's just brushing on this sort of thing because of the fact that you are a medium. People like to know a little bit about, these sort of things, and we was talking about mirrors anyway.
Yeah.
So we don't really want to go into other.
No.
Because we've done this before, where not only with yourself but even with Steve Mera, who incidentally his new paranormal what's it called? Phenomena magazine. That's it. I should know that. Phenomena magazine is out now, so you can download that at his website and map it or make it
free of charge.
Free of charge, yes, and they do sponsor, or rather recommend, I should say, not sponsor, the KTPF Talk Show. But he's mentioned it so many times. You could go round and round in circles with the paranormal, can't you, and still come back. And no matter where you are, even if talking about UFOs and stuff like that, or even like the demonology, you always come back to spirits and mediumship and stuff like that, don't you?
Of course you do.
You cross everything,
a lot of it is interlinked. A lot of it's conjoined, and I'm massive dedicated to the work that I do and the work that I've done.
Yeah.
And I do love it with a passion. And it's something that I will take to the grave. And hopefully past the grave. Hopefully
come back and tell somebody else and show us.
Well, apparently this is my 3rd time down here, so I'm hoping for a 4th, maybe.
I think you find it's more.
I think it might be more than that, actually. So, but Steve will enlighten you on that when we see you. but no, it's it's very, very interesting, and I'm sure some of these people that 6 o'clock, Shabba, you check on the site on the team page. So basically, at night, Chris, if you go in,
Yeah, take care, mate.
Speak to you next week. So basically, what it is with that is, when people look at mediums, that and they come out with all this stuff about there's this happening and that happening and blah blah blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's they must sit there and think, what the hell is he going on about? I'm not feeling it, I'm not getting it, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But I'm sure in another sense they'd think, oh, I wish I could hear that. I wish I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could do what he's doing, and and get my own confirmation. What do you think to this?
Well, it's like you mentioned earlier on about some people have developed at a later stage. Now, because I developed very, very early on as a child, when you're a child, all your senses are open. Not just having one sense open. You're fully open to spirit at that age. And if you're developed from that age, you develop all of your senses. So you're allowed to use, or you're able to use all of those senses as you grow up, and they don't diminish. Okay? Now, if as a child you're not regarded as sensitive maybe, or you haven't been took under somebody's wing or haven't been developed, you can start diminishing. Okay? So what usually happens is at a later stage when you come to develop, you can only develop one or two senses. So you can't develop, the rest of them. So you're not fully open to spirit. You've only got certain aspects of the senses that you were born with that you can use. So, a lot of people can hear spirit, but they can't see them. A lot of people can see spirit, but they can't hear them. A lot of people can smell them and sense them.
Yeah.
But if you were developed as a child at an early age, and like me, I can use all senses. I can see, I can hear, I can smell, I can do anything with them really. That's sort of the difference.
So what does it feel like when you can see somebody? Do you get any feelings or?
Oh yeah, of course you do.
What's the feelings you get when you see them?
It's
adrenaline.
No. It used to be.
Yeah.
When I was a child, I always remember the first one that I seen. It was very, very unusual. It was almost like a staring match. And even though I was 4, I wasn't scared.
Yeah.
But it was almost like a staring match. Now, the guy that I seen was a huge guy. And I could only sort of see the shadow of his body because he was still against the window. But I could just see his eyes, and his eyes were really, really piercing. And it was almost like a staring match between him and me. And in the end, I fell asleep. So what happened after that, I'm not too sure. But because of that happening, I became very, very comfortable with these things happening around me, and I still feel that today. There's nothing scares me at all.
No.
Nothing at all. And I mean, that's not just spiritual stuff, that's physical stuff as well. Nothing scares me. I'm not scared to die. I'm not scared of being in any sort of threatening situations, and that's something that's, I don't know whether that's been instilled in me or whether that's something I've learned over the years. Nothing scares me at all in the slightest. So there's no there's no sort of scary thoughts. There's no anxiety. There's no nothing at all to sort of barrier me off between seeing an entity and feeling an entity and interacting with an entity.
Yeah.
I'm fully open to that, to any entity really. But usually what happens is when you interact with a spirit or entity, you usually take on their feelings. So if they died in a very sad situation, you would take on that sadness.
Yeah.
If they died from a heart attack, you would take on that heart attack pain. So you would get feelings as well along with your vision.
Yeah.
So
I used to get all
lots going on.
All the pains and feelings when I first started this.
Yeah, Steve said he was getting the pains and the feelings when he first started. Reiki Deb said, how do you explain seeing a photo and having strong feelings, emotions about the personal place? Is that a kind of mediumship psychic ability?
Psychometry.
That'd be psychometry, wouldn't it?
That's psychometry, yeah.
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 So, How would you explain how you get that?
Well, psychometry is you're given an object, say a ring or a photograph or something that would have been close to the person that passed over.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that that person's fingerprint is within that object, or that person's energy is still left within that object, and that's not true. That's just hearsay and something that's been brought up over the years.
So what is it then?
Basically, what you're doing is very, very similar to clairvoyance. Okay?
Right.
So it's very, very similar to using it. It's basically an instrument. Okay, so say you're holding a photograph in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
You're using that as an instrument to contact the person who maybe is in that photograph or has something to do with that photograph, and then you're connecting through your own mind or through your own ability, and actually making contact with that spirit who's passed over.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's just an instrument. It's a bit like reading the tarot cards. The tarot cards are an instrument. So you're connecting with that card. You're getting the messages through the cards. But really, what you're doing is you're actually getting the messages in your own mind, relaying them through the cards.
So it's actually spirit giving you that.
It's actually spirit that's giving you that message. Yeah.
Right. So what are we saying? That can I say that if I'm holding a ring of somebody's, then my guide's bringing that person forward to give me messages if he or she's able to come through.
Exactly. That's right. That's why it doesn't work all of the time, because if the entity's not in the vicinity or we can't contact that entity for some reason, then it won't work.
Yeah. Debs has just said sometimes she doesn't even have to hold it; she just gets a glance of a picture or something.
Yeah.
If she gets strong feelings.
She gets a strong feeling.
Okay. Well, that is it is part of clairvoyance.
Right. Okay.
Right. Ghost Rider says he's a twin, and even though I don't have contact with my brother, I often pick up his pain. Is this just a twin thing, or is it a
psychic thing?
A psychic thing.
Well, it's definitely a psychic thing. You know, the thing with twins is you are connected in a spiritual way. You're not just connected in a physical way. You're connected in a spiritual way as well. And you know, it has been reported that twins have been on the other side of the world to each other, and they've felt things that have happened to each other.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's because you've got such a strong spiritual bond that yes, you would pick that up, and it's very, very similar to what we would do in remote viewing. It's a very, very similar thing.
Well, what about when, say for instance, not you personally, but just say for instance you're pregnant, a woman's pregnant, and she can go all through her pregnancy, not a problem.
Yeah.
And the husband's there, morning sickness, pains, phantom pregnancy, phantom contractions, and she's sitting there going, well, I'm all right, until the baby's born. Well, how does that come about? Joe said they just want attention. No, but seriously, how would that come about? Because it is heard of, isn't it?
It's a phantom pregnancy?
No, it is heard of, where a woman can go through a pregnancy without feeling anything, apart from getting fat, and the man's sitting there,
getting all the pain.
Backache, stomach pain, sympathetic, you know what I mean, and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's the same thing. You've got a spiritual bond, you know, and you're picking up. Again, it's very similar to the clairvoyant bit. You know, you're picking up that pain from that person who you've got such a strong bond with, and it's a bit like, remember the old saying, I must be coming out in sympathy for you.
Yes.
That's where that comes from.
Right. So if you've got a strong bond with a person,
simply Joe. It's just like man flu doesn't exist. Man flu does exist.
It's been proved medically.
Scientifically proven.
He's watching the chat room, guys.
Flu
just like Ben did.
The reason why man flu exists is because we are missing a certain type of chemical in our brain that doesn't allow us to deal with flu as well as a woman. Our hormones are depleted a little bit less than women, so we do suffer from man flu. Okay.
Well, if you're on the chat room, you'll see Andy 707's question.
Andy, I'm coming down towards you in the next few weeks. I've got to visit Harlow. Is it in Essex?
That's definitely in Essex.
But he's asking whether you can do readings over the phone.
No, I don't do readings over the phone.
And why don't you do readings over the phone, Neil?
Because I don't believe in it. You can do readings over the phone. You can get certain information that you can pass on. But what you're missing out on a phone reading is you haven't got all the personal stuff that's going on. You're not picking up feelings. You're not picking up the emotions, and the person that you're reading for, they're not feeling that as well. When I do a reading as a physical medium, they get to feel things as well, and the spirit does come into the room and they get to feel that spirit, and, it's the enlightened feeling that you get from that. So you can't do that on the phone, I'm afraid.
Have you just seen what Simply Joe put? She asked a medium for a reading the other day and he wanted £45 for half an hour.
Yep, that's the going rate, I'm afraid. It's disgusting, isn't it? Absolutely disgusting.
You don't charge that much.
And people wonder why certain people are actually jumping on the bandwagon and calling themselves mediums. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you don't charge that much and you go on for over half an hour.
Go on for an hour.
I do as long as it takes. I mean, yes. I've been known to do a reading for 2 hours, as you know. I don't stop until that entity or spirit or whatever wants me to stop, So you know that as much as me, Sue.
Yeah, I know. Andy707 would like to know, without giving details, will something happen in September?
Oh.
It might rain, it might snow, it might be sunny.
on a personal level, this is so against me. Just give me two seconds, Andy. Let me have a think about this.
I'll let you think about it, but I would say no. Unless it's late September, beginning of October.
But going back on the £45, Simply Joe said it was a total joke. I told him where to go and he didn't see that coming.
Yeah, that's about right. Just quickly back on Andy there. I am just talking to my guide here, so I've just got a feeling that at the moment where you are, Andy, it's been a bit of a sort of how can I put it? I don't want to get too personal over the phone, obviously. How can I describe this?
Here he goes again.
I know.
No, I don't want to say that. Just give me a few moments, Andy. I will sort this out, honestly.
No worries. Say what you think, he said.
It's all right you saying that, but I'm restricted to certain regulations.
And not only that, it's going over onto YouTube.
That as well.
Yeah.
That as well.
You know what I mean? So, but honestly, your theory on phone, it's not that people can and can't do it. It's just that you feel as though
you don't get the strong link.
You don't get the strong link.
No, you're not getting all the information. You're not getting, there's certain things that you pick up on a personal level, that you can relate to your client as well. If they're going through certain things, you can pick that up a lot easier. And I just don't believe in the whole thing. It shouldn't be done.
Mm-hmm. Well, going on a skeptic's point of view, yeah.
Just going back to Andy, just a second.
Go on then.
What I'm being told is that you've just gone through a 2-year period of it's almost like a bit of a flat line, which means that things have been quite routine for 2 years. There hasn't been much change in the last 2 years, and there hasn't been a lot of sort of excitement in your life for the last 2 years. Without sort of droning on around that, are we looking sort of around mid-September with that, Andy? Because I've got a feeling that something's coming up around mid-September with you, where there is a diversion that's telling me that you're going to come out of this sort of flat line to. There's going to be a decision that has to be made by you on whether you take a step forward on this or not.
Early, you said.
Yeah, I'm picking up around the 14th, 15th of September before this comes to fruition.
Okay. Quiet. But as I say, on the you can probably typing away at the moment. But on a skeptic's point of view, would some people say that the reason why some mediums want to do it face to face is because they can read body language?
Well, yeah, you could bring that into repute. Okay, hang on a second. Can I just finish this off with Andy?
Yep, you carry on.
Okay. What I'm being told is it's a split decision. It's a 50-50. What I'm being told is that you must go with the decision that's in your gut, the gut feeling that you've got, which is the feeling that you've had in the first place, which is the feeling that or the decision that you should have took a while ago, but you've thought too long about it. And I'm being told that that is the right decision for you, and you must go with that decision and run along with that, because that will then put you onto the step where you should be. Because I feel that the last 2 years you've actually missed a couple of opportunities where that would have raised you to another step above. But I'm being told that if you take this decision, the right decision, which is the decision that you're thinking about now, then you will be placed on that step. So you're going up another level with that.
Okay, well, Andy's been saying that was the help I was looking for about making a decision, and he said good. So maybe you are good at doing them over the phone.
Maybe I'm not going to do them over the phone soon.
I know, I'm just saying. Obviously, you don't want to do them.
Yeah.
And he said it could have happened 15 years ago. Okay. Now I have a chance to do it again.
Yeah, there has been a long gap, but basically what I'm being told is that.
Like you say, it's a general reading, isn't it, that you can give?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't,
you can't get everything.
You can't get everything because, obviously, like they say, your guide speaks to their guide.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Oh, just bear with me a second. Just on the back of that, Andy, I've been told that the last 2 years have been slowed down for you on purpose so that you can take a step back and have a think about not just this decision, but your next step. So I don't know if that makes any sense to you.
So, let's see what he comes back with there. But like you say, it's you talking to their guide as well, isn't it? And they need to be in the room, so to speak, with you.
Well, there's that as well, and it's an experience as well for the person that I'm reading for.
Yeah.
Because they get to feel, they get to see, they get to experience spirit around them.
Well, this is it.
Many people who I read for, when their mum comes through or their dad comes through, they're touched.
Yeah.
And it gives them, a lot more pleasure, knowing that they're around them.
Right. Okay.
The only bit that doesn't is the last 6 months have been chaotic.
Yeah. So, as I say, this is a career change. But apart from that, was it okay for you, Andy, considering he doesn't do this sort of thing on phones and what have you?
I just feel with that something 2 years ago changed. Something around you changed 2 years ago, because I'm looking at a 2 year. From what I'm being shown, there's a 2 year sort of block where things have been slowed down, and then they've been sort of jungling about of where you're going to go with that, and they wanted you to slow down and take a step back and have a rethink of what direction you're going to. Because I think what's happened is they've actually got involved with you and thought, right, he's going on the wrong path here yet again. Let's slow him down and let's make him think. So it's almost like you've been going on a roundabout where there's been no signs, so you've not known what direction to come off on. So what they've done is they've actually put a signpost up for you and give you a little hint on where to go. That's, you can blame spirit for that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Maybe Andy Mercer can come on Skype and let everybody know for the YouTube to say, this is actually true.
Yeah, he has said on there that is true. Something he thought was sorted out 2 years ago has come back.
And he went, yes.
Right. Yeah.
Now, obviously, I'm replaying what's going on here. I could be reading anything, but maybe you could pop on Skype. Not so much a hint as a kick up the backside.
Well, I wasn't going to say that, but that's for you to. That's between you and.
But maybe you can come on Skype if he's got Skype and just reiterate what you actually thought to that reading, considering you don't do it. So I thought you came on then.
Right,
it was Alison.
Right, Mr. Neil.
Mr. Neil.
Right. Some people would say that what you've just done was fortune telling.
Right.
What would you say to that?
What would I think of that?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't really told him his fortune, have I?
Well, you've told him about a decision that's coming in so and so and so and so.
Well,
and that's the kind of thing that I don't like to say it this way because there are a lot of good gypsy fortune tellers out there, but the classic come into my tent and look into the crystal ball kind of thing.
I'm just telling him of circumstances that are going on at the moment that are going to adjust of what's going to happen in the future.
Right. Obviously, he said, I don't want to say just yet, as a couple of things need to fall into place first.
Yeah.
Once they have, I'll tell all. But all I really wanted was to say whether he was happy with that and that I won't put in words into his mouth.
Yeah.
So fortune telling it is open. I asked a specific question.
Yeah.
So, so that was Andy 707. Well, you got a scoop there, Andy, because as you say, he never does this sort of thing over the phone or over Skype. So you got it. He said he's certainly happy. That's
Okay,
with them.
I'm glad for you, Andy. I'm glad for you.
So, but
and go for that, and I mean that. Go for that because the amount of sort of energy I actually got with that will tell me that just stick your mind on that now and go for it.
Simply Joe said for once, Andy. Well, Andy, I must admit, I don't know why we say this, but I don't know.
Look,
hey?
If I'm down in Harlow, Andy, I will get in touch with you, no problem.
But yeah, so as I say, mediumship, it is a bit of a taboo subject, so to speak. You know what I mean? And of late, especially, but like we say, it could be going back that way if the powers that be make it so.
Well, and I've been saying this for a few years now. There's got to be a restriction somewhere. There has to be a code of honour. There has to be a regulation. You know yourself how many people have popped up in the last 10 years on Facebook.
Oh, I know.
That claim to be mediums.
Oh, I know.
I'm getting mediums coming to me, asking me for my vote to vote them as the best medium in the UK, and I don't even know them.
I know. I must admit, there's a lot of this voting going on, even with paranormal groups, and for one, for me as UK Shadow Seekers, I sit there and think, we don't need awards. As long as the members, when they leave us, they say they're happy and come back.
That's all I want.
That's all we want, isn't it?
That's all I want. As long as I get things right, as long as that they're happy.
Them to say, yes, I enjoyed it. Yes, thank you.
The whole rule of mediumship is validation.
Well, this is it. Yeah.
Well, if you can't validate something, then you shouldn't be a medium.
So this is the thing. And like Deb says, it's all about working together, which it is.
While you're all listening on the chat room there, can you vote for me this year? I'm only joking. I don't go into none of that rubbish.
I don't know. And while you're there's Simply Ghost Nights. There's UK Shadow Seekers. Greenlee said, "Beat it, Munnerley." But you know what I mean.
That's being cheeky.
But I must admit, there are a lot of big heads out there, isn't there? Really?
Oh yes.
Nigel said 3 out of 10.
Oh, thanks, Nigel. That's one of the highest scores I've got. That.
Because I must admit, we've seen some recently, haven't they? Trying to pick themselves up, haven't we, Steve?
We have indeed.
Yeah.
And
there's no need for it.
There isn't.
Really. And I've been saying for years, there's plenty of work out there for everybody.
Oh yeah.
There's enough going on. What makes me laugh is the unsung jobs that we do. The house clearances, the exorcisms. None of these mediums or proclaimed mediums ever get involved in any of that.
No.
Because they can't do it.
Yeah. Well, this is it.
I mean, I think from what I saw the other day, there's a little bit of karma coming around to a certain person who now seems to be advertising these services. So he's obviously not getting all the attraction he wants.
That they originally wanted.
Yeah, I mean, I have seen a few name changes as well.
Yes. Oh, yes.
That have changed the names.
There was a specific one a few years ago. I'm not going to mention any names who changed their name, and going back to Derek Akora, he could have lied low and what have you, and then come back as a different name, and he didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
but there has been, isn't there, where people have turned around and thought, well, I'll lay low. And
well, we all know that Colin Fry did in the early days.
I wasn't going to say.
Well, no, you don't have to say it. It's a well-known fact. It's out there.
Well, I do know of a medium
we don't have to say why he did it, but
I won't mention his name, but he did steal my magazine article.
Yes, I know the one you're on about.
Yeah, and to give Colin Fry his due, he's a very good medium.
Yeah.
Oh, you go for it, Joe. You go for it.
I'm Vicar now. But no, I'll be honest with you, Andy. You probably wasn't. You obviously weren't here earlier.
Yeah, but like Andy said there, it's no secret.
It is no secret. But the thing is, we've got to be careful what we say in this sort of line.
Yeah, of course we have.
The interview we did a couple of weeks ago, got back to a certain person, and I'll be honest with you, we were actually third partily. One of our FB friends actually sent me a message to passed on and said that it needed to be checked, otherwise we could be taken somewhere where we shouldn't be. Well, put it this way, my name's Sue, but I don't want to be. Yeah. But and it's basically ridiculous, to be honest with you. But as I say, the descriptions and opinions of people that come on the show has got nothing to do with us. I just bit my tongue. but seriously, what was it? That was everything, I think. But they never checked it, so they just assumed.
Well, they assumed and mentioned what they were prepared to do.
At the end of the day, I'm happy doing my work. I'm happy with the results that I get. I don't need people to vote for me online.
No, you don't need bigging up.
I don't need to go into competitions. I don't need to, it is very laughable.
You can, Joe, if you want. But no, but as I say, you don't need it, do you? You get your own. The way I look at it is, if you're happy doing what you're doing and the people you're doing it for are happy, then that is the goal you need.
Exactly.
You don't need to go out shouting to the hills, that you're this, that, and the other, and bigging yourself up, because you end up falling all the way down that hill.
Well, karma is a bitch, and I know her quite well. She's very good friends with me, thank God. So when karma hits you, it does hit you very, very big.
Yeah.
And I think that's starting to happen now to many people out there at the moment. Hence a lot of name changes and people disappearing, and I'm hearing lots of reports as well of mediums not being up to scratch.
Well, this is it.
They're not being able to perform what they should be performing, and they're coming out with miserable excuses, and it's there's a lot going out there.
Well, this is it, yeah. So as I say, if you get fame and fortune or credit and whatever from the people you're seeing and pleasing, then that's all that counts.
See, I always believe that if you wait long enough, it will come to you. It will come to you at the right time.
I've always said, if fame knocks on the door, don't ever shoo it away. But don't go look. You don't need to go looking for it. People know where you are.
Exactly.
And if they want you, they'll come to you.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
Debs has just said on there, if you're happy in what you do and your beliefs, then that's all you need. And if you're honest in your dealings and with yourself, then all is good in the world.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's all about keeping the paranormal friendly.
Exactly. And if you do nothing but good, you'll be given nothing but good as well. I
remember in the early days of Facebook, I suppose you can do it now on the actual page ones, the group pages, where you can invite people on. But before they started with the groups, they did it with the Facebook pages, and they were getting people on there, and you'd end up with pages with like thousands of fans of your page.
Yeah.
Where they've just gone on and nicked everybody's friends just to get on it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because you can add people to you used to be able to add people to your page without even asking them.
I know you can do it with groups now, but you used to do it in Facebook. And because you'd see a Facebook group, that have got 2,000, 3,000 fans, and you think to yourself, yeah, you know what I mean? Where, you know, you've obviously got them not the right way. If people come on and say, yes, I'm a fan, then fair enough. But to turn around and, you know, because you could actually go on to, you know, people's pages and drag them off and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I never thought about that. We've got here, Marie's come on. Can I ask Neil a question, please? It's a bit on from the convo, but when he said about if a child's don't develop or try later in life, they're limited. Well, how come in my family they all have? No, you've lost me now. I've read that wrong enough. You see it, can't you? You read it.
When she says, "How come in my family they all have what?" I don't know.
I don't know. They all have developed.
Oh, they've all come late.
They've all come late and developed.
I don't know.
Yeah, developed in what though?
Developed, as in developed.
Well, developed
psychically.
What have they developed?
Yeah, what have they developed, Marie?
Particular strengths different to each other, and yet all being developed from being a child.
Right, okay, let's reiterate that. Right, can I ask Neil a question? It's a bit on from the convo. When you said about a child, something develop, or when a child doesn't develop and tries later in life, they're limited. Well, how come in my family they all have particular strengths different to each other, yet have all been developed from being a child?
Still don't understand.
No, I don't get that either. Sorry, Marie. Here we go. Best way to do it. Are we going to go Skype then, Mr. Andy?
That's Marie. That's not Andy.
Yeah, I know.
He's calling me instead of you.
Oh, is he? Hold on. Hang on, Andy.
Hang on, Andy. I'll decline this one and so I'll ring you on the
right.
system.
Hang up. We'll get it right. So, are you there?
It's time to come through.
Hi, Andy. Is Marie there?
Hang on, Andy. I'll decline this one and so I'll ring you on.
Can you turn the thing down? Oh, hello. It's gone. What happened there? We'll try again. Can you turn the show down, Andy, when you come through? Andy, Andy, can you turn it down?
Reggie, show for a minute. We're getting
Andy?
feedback.
Andy? Can you hear me? I'm not hearing him. Can you turn Andy, just ask the question the way it should be. Andy, can you turn it on?
Set volume down on that.
We'll get it in a minute, don't worry. So.
Is that better?
That's better. Right, how does the question go? It's a bit harder when you're reading it, I must admit.
I can't hear you, sir.
Can you not? That's because you turned it down.
Oh, hang on.
Turn the other bit down, wouldn't it?
Right, hold on, guys.
Yeah, if he mutes the show for a minute and just speaks on Skype, it'd be right.
I can hear him now. Right, go on, ask what you want now.
Hiya, Si.
Hiya.
Right, what it is, you know, the family history of mine, you know,
okay.
Right, they've all got very different strengths, whether it be, they can see things, or they can hear things, or they read tarots, or, you know, all the different things. What I'm wondering is, they've all been developed from a child. Now, I would ask my grandma, but she's not here, so I'm just wondering how people have the different strengths.
Right, there you go, Neil.
I can't hear that. Did she say that they've all been developed as children?
Right, yeah, they've all been developed as children.
So they've all been developed from childhood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're all different.
But they're all different.
Okay. Well, the simple answer to that is we're not all born completely with every sense. You know, we're not all born the same. You know, luckily for me, I was born with everything. But some children are born with very strong clairvoyance. Some children are born with very strong clairaudience or clairsentience. Or we're not all born the same. As a group of children, are they all in the same family? Are they all like brothers and sisters?
Yes.
Yes.
So basically, what could have happened there is that they've all got different strengths because they're all in the same group of children. Right.
Autism causes
my two younger sons, one's very strong clairvoyance, and one's very strong clairaudience. Okay, so they haven't both got the same abilities. I think from my point of view, if I'd only had the one son, I think he would have been like me with all the abilities. So we're not always born with every single ability, although we're very open to spirit when we're children.
You want to be stronger than the other.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. What did you say?
We are born to take on what we're meant to do in our lives, basically, and we're given the ability that is meant for us to take through that life. If that makes any sense.
Did you get that?
I did, thank you.
All right, my darling.
All right, thanks, so. Thanks, bye-bye.
Right, so I can understand that. The fact that at the end of the day, people have got different strengths. Yeah?
Yeah.
You're lucky enough to have all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with us, it's a case of, I say with us, with some people, like myself, yeah? No, ignore myself because I say I'm clairsentient, but what is it? What is my actual strength?
Clairvoyance.
Clairvoyance, right? Okay, but then again, Steve would be.
Oh, Steve's got clairvoyance.
Right. Okay.
Right, but I am trying to open other senses that are going on there at the moment, which I don't wish to talk about.
No, that's fine. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, you get clairsentience.
Yeah.
Only. Yeah, because that's their predominant one.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get clairvoyance, and that sort of thing.
Right. Yeah. I've got a couple of questions for him, and the first one will be totally understand if you don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because of stuff that's happened to you personally when you were serving, you do suffer from time to time from PTSD.
Yeah.
John's asked, how do you deal with that? And he has said, if it's too personal, don't worry about it. Don't bother asking. It's your choice.
I don't deal with it very well. No, I deal with it better than most people. But I do become withdrawn, and I do spend a lot of time in sort of the spirit realms to deal with that. I do talk to my guide a lot. There is a lot of meditation, time on my own. So there's a lot of factors that I use on a spiritual basis that helps me with that. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there who suffer with PTSD who haven't got, that ability to do these things, which is a shame really, because it's open to everybody, and meditation is the key to everything spiritually.
Yeah.
Also, if somebody out there with PTSD, meditation is a very, very strong element in not curing it, but it is a helpful means of sort of backing it down so it's in a controllable way.
Okay. And Reiki Dev says, do you think that people's diet can affect their abilities?
Yes, it can. Yes. It depends on what sort of level you're working on. I mean, as a physical medium, my diet can be quite strict. Obviously, because when I work on a physical basis, my metabolism speeds up quite fast. So diet is a key factor in that. But yeah, eating the right stuff obviously keeps you, quite healthy. It also keeps you cleansed. It can also help you become earthed. So there's a lot of key factors that within diet that does help and enhance some of the senses that you work with.
Yeah, because she just said that she's not eaten meat for quite a few days now.
Yeah.
And her meditation has changed quite a lot within those few days.
Yeah, it will do. I mean, meat takes a lot longer to digest than other foodstuffs, you know, and it's especially red meat. Red meat takes a long time to digest, so your metabolism becomes quite sluggish. So if you cut meat out for a couple of days, then obviously your metabolism will have speeded up a little bit. So yeah, that would change, you know, some kind of elements in your meditation.
Yeah, John said thanks for answering the question on the PTSD.
Oh, that's fine.
And he said that he's been studying psychonutrition for quite a while. He said it has a massive effect on the mind.
It does. Yeah.
Red meat takes it up to 6 weeks apparently.
Oh, we can do. Yeah. I mean, if you eat a good steak, you know, it can be in there for 6 weeks. You know.
I heard recently, was it Maria that told us about it? About meditation? Is it her mum that's never been ill due to meditation? Somebody said something to us recently.
Meditation is, again, it's now being scientifically proven, and I know these scientists hate coming out with these things, but it's being scientifically proven that meditation can help cure a hell of a lot of things and help in our healthy lifestyles and you know, it also helps mental attitude and mental health problems. There's so many benefits to meditation. It's unreal, you know. But meditation, you know, meditation is the foundation of working in any spiritual factor. You know, you have to master meditation before you can step up to the mark with your spiritual abilities. You know, because that is the key foundation. You know, so if you look at it on that basis, it's very, very important in our lives, and meditation is something that should be within us, you know, at all times.
Yeah, I'm sure it was Maria who was saying that her mum's meditated so many times, or somebody in her family. I remember commenting on it that I better get cracking then.
Yeah. There was a thing on Facebook that actually said that meditation is very good for, amongst other things, the heart.
Yes.
Well, I use meditation for PTSD, you know, and if I wasn't as strong spiritually and sort of spiritually positive as I was, I think the PTSD would have you know, took me down quite a notch or two. But I'm able to control and manage that to a degree now where it doesn't affect me, you know, half as much as it should do. You know, so the benefits in that, you know, I know meditation works. I've been meditating for years. So, you know, meditation is fantastic. You know, I don't like hospitals. I don't like doctors. I don't like medication. You know, but meditation, when you're ill, will speed up the healing process.
Okay. Right, so one thing I will say, Neil, it's been very different having you on the phone. But
well, I'll treat you next. I'll treat you next week, and I'll come in.
I was going to say, but saying that, I bet it's been a lot easier for you. You know.
It has.
Especially with the kids and that. So,
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But how does your family feel about you as a medium? How do they get on with it? How does it fit around your life?
Well, my mum is absolutely petrified of me. She's scared to death. She doesn't like me going around to her house because things happen. Well, so she says anyway. She keeps thinking that every time I go to her house, I'll leave something behind. You know, maybe one day I should, you know, prove the point. But no, I mean, all my family know what I do, you know, and the work that I do, and I've proven things over the years to them that, you know, it's all real stuff, you know, and they're all quite happy. You know, all my kids know that, you know, well, my two younger boys who are in school are actually going around telling their friends that I'm a ghost hunter or a ghostbuster or.
Yeah, I believe you're famous. Thanks to me and Google.
Well, yeah, you know, my daughter got all her friends to Google me, and I'm all over Google, and they said, "Oh, your dad's a celebrity." You know. So they're all happy. As long as they're happy, that's the main thing.
He's a celebrity on Google.
Yeah, well, we've got to be famous somewhere, haven't we?
Yeah. Debs is asking if you do guided meditation.
Say that again?
Debs wants to know if you do guided meditation.
I don't do guided meditation myself, but I do teach development circles where I will use guided meditation, yes.
Well, I've got a question for you. Would you do?
I love your question, Steve.
Would you do a guided meditation disc for other people to
have
have?
we not been through that question before, Steve?
Yes, and you still haven't done it.
The reason why I don't do it is because I hate my own voice.
Right.
Nothing wrong with it. Guys.
Is there anything wrong with his voice, guys?
Could you listen to his voice through a guided meditation?
My voice changes in meditation anyway.
She said your voice is. Deb said your voice is okay. And Greenlee said he would listen to it.
Yeah. Charlotte said he's famous in his own lunchtime.
And he said
I'm famous in my own house.
And he said you sound fine. Helen said that they would have a copy.
Yes.
Well, I'll have a little think about it. Okay.
I mean, all you need is a nice...
Joe said I'd be worried to close my eyes in case I was robbed. You'll have to get her next time you see her.
Yes, I shall be leaving something behind in your house, Joe.
Yeah, you can do that, can't you?
I'm not even going to mention that.
No, that wasn't a nasty thing, though, was it?
Hence, that's why I know about karma.
Yeah, as I say, because obviously, I mean, just before I leave that, right? Can I just say that that's not nasty stuff? That's the fact that you was told off one time, wasn't it?
Yes.
For turning up unannounced.
Yes. In a place where I shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
Oh, Jeanette's being sneaky.
Jeanette?
Yeah.
Why?
Because she's not in the chat room.
Yeah.
But she must be listening because she just posted on Facebook. I wish I'd have known that meditation helps with recovery. I may have been back at work earlier.
She is there. She's just come in.
She just come in, has she?
Yeah.
I just see her.
Sneaky. Always comes in at the last minute.
Yeah, right.
She's been listening all night. So, anyway, but well, thanks for coming on anyway and talking to us about Transfiguration.
That's fine. Well, I didn't speak about it much, did I?
Well, I know. Because you're a medium. She said she's been here since 9:30. Yeah, Miss Ben Hansen. But as I say, it's something that we were going to suggest when you're on in the hub sometime and actually doing something.
Yeah. What I think what we're going to plan is I do want to do a physical séance.
Yeah.
We'll choose an event somewhere.
Yeah.
Where it will be audience based.
Yeah.
We'll do it live, maybe. Or we'll film it and we'll put it on at a later date.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
And I will do a demonstration of Transfiguration and physical mediumship.
Right. Okay.
So it'll be split into two. We'll do Transfiguration and then we'll go into physical mediumship, where we'll be in the pitch black and we'll get sort of infrared cameras in and stuff like that.
Andy wants you to be down south.
Well, hopefully I'll be down in Harlow soon. Don't worry. So hopefully we'll meet at some stage, Andy. Yeah, I'm quite sure of it.
He wants you to let him know where and when you're coming down. Helen
wants you to do it in Yorkshire. Well, we have got the middle of nowhere coming up.
Yes, we have. Well, I've still got unfinished business to do with Nigel.
Yeah.
That's obviously going to come up this year at some stage.
Oh, Nigel, you're in for it now, mate.
Plus we've got the portal and fish and chips.
Well, that all does sound, the area to be.
22nd of June, Nigel. We're going to be up there for that weekend, 21st to the 23rd.
Yeah, and we won't be far from settled from there, will we?
No. So, Joe said she's at Waterhousing. And Charles said, I would love Neil to channel at the portal.
Well, that is going to be the idea, I think. And from what I'm being told, there is going to be some physical work around the portal.
And Helen said they have a gusset room.
Oh, what, sorry?
A gusset room.
What?
Guest room. I knew what you meant.
Gusset room? Oh, my God. I'm getting put in the gusset room.
Yeah. Andy being Glastonbury.
Yeah.
Well, I hope
I knew she meant guest room.
I hope they've all been washed.
Mind you, having said that, Neil, you'll have a cottage to yourself.
Yes, you will have a cottage to yourself.
Well, I hope all the gussets have been washed. That's all I can say.
The gussets have been washed. Joe said it's not 50 Shades. You don't get called Mr. Christian anymore, do you?
Well, that's why I dye my hair. It's not 50 Shades of Grey anymore.
I don't know. No cottaging on here.
Oh no! Don't even mention
Don't even go there.
No, that's not good. That's not a good subject, Nigel.
You did explain to me what it was, but I've forgotten. I think it's
I
a
am
good
not
idea.
explaining that on the air.
No, it's fine. Bit late for the smut. Well, at least you found out about the handcuffs, Joe. I don't know. Just
Let's
Joe.
not talk about
I must
cottaging.
admit, the ladies were very good with Ben Hansen today, weren't they?
Yeah, they weren't OTT.
They weren't OTT with him, were they?
No, they weren't. No. I was quite surprised, actually.
Yes, they were very good.
Yeah.
And he was watching. I think that was the problem.
Yeah. Joe says she's biding her
Even
time.
though she's biding her time, she's waiting for the time she can get him to teach her how to use the handcuffs. I don't know.
I think everyone behaved themselves this evening.
Just out of curiosity, this is one thing I left off the observations because we run out of time getting on to Mr. Hansen there.
Joe says she doesn't need teaching.
No, she doesn't need teaching, no.
Right, this is one of the things that was going to be in the news today, but I'd like to get people's opinion, especially yours, Neil.
Yes.
Right, before you go. Grieving relatives are worried that their loved ones will not attract enough mourners at their funeral, right? Can now bump up the numbers by hiring professional sobbers. Yeah, he's laughing here. I'll have to go to the original.
£45 a time.
Hold on, let me finish reading it.
Oh, no.
You're not going to believe this, yeah? A growing number of people are hiring out their services at £45 for a 2-hour ceremony, and as well as attending the funeral, they will weep and talk to friends of the deceased. It was a trend that started in the Middle East and China, but the rise of multiculturalism has made it increasingly popular in the UK. They're known as morologists.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, and they're trained actors who specialise in the skills of appearing grief-stricken at public events. Before the funeral services, they are briefed about the life of the deceased so that they can talk to others mourners as if they genuinely knew him or her. The unusual industry has become so popular that one Essex firm, Andy, because he's down there, now has 20 staff on its books available for hire. That's not his change of a career, is it? Ian Robertson, the founder of Rent a Mourner, is in Braintree, admits the idea may be unfamiliar to the British, but predicts it will catch on soon. What do you think to this?
I think it's very, very sad, and I mean, okay, there are some people that would, go down that line, but it's very, very similar to going onto Facebook and saying, vote for me.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have one person at my funeral that cared
well,
than have 50 there that didn't.
Yeah, when I'm about to die, I'm going to put it on my Facebook, please come to my funeral, and vote for me at the funeral.
Yeah, I mean, the article did say that it started predominantly in China and the Middle East.
And the Middle East.
Yeah.
But the unusual, as I say, we were actually inspired by the market growth in China. He said the Middle Eastern way is to provide wailers, crying women, as opposed to quiet, dignified methods we use. It is growing in the UK, and our bookings are up 50% year on year. Oh my God! At the moment, it's not the sort of thing most people can treat as a career, but if it continues the increase in popularity, then crying on demand could soon become a highly prized skill. Yeah. That sounds.
Lee's
has
put
found
it on
there. Yeah. Oh my God!
Meant to mourner.
You know what I mean? That's ridiculous. Don't you agree, though? It is ridiculous.
Maybe I should join on the books, and I think I could be.
Can supply professional street people to attend funerals and wakes. If you simply need to increase visitor numbers or introduce new faces, then we can help.
Yeah, I love going to funerals.
Agencies next to funerals.
I love going to funerals. Maybe I should join on the books.
Oh, that's the one based in Essex. I'm not sure about this. I don't know what you think, guys, in the chat room. Yeah, it could be terrible. I cry when someone else cries. I don't have to act. Might have to give it a go. You know, breaking testing should be terrible in that. I thought it was Rentamona. It is ridiculous. It really is. I agree with you, Joe. It sounds like something that would come out of America, really, because it always starts from there.
Well, it'd be great to go to the wake afterwards and rub some onion in your eyes and pretend that, and get some free drinks, free food,
But seriously, I don't think that's the way to
No, it's not.
If they're getting work out of it, then fair enough. But I don't think, as I say, I'd rather have one person there that says they cared about me than have 10, 15 people there that were just there for the sake of it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Steve.
You get a lot of that in the family, as it is sometimes.
I'll tell you what, Steve.
Yeah.
You can have a very cheap wake then.
Oh, yeah.
Aren't they just?
Yes. But no, seriously,
I'll come if you pay me £45.
But no, seriously, at the end of the day...
I got some bad news for you, mate. You're coming in the picking box with me. And I'm being cremated.
But no, seriously, I must admit, it's not a way to go, is it?
No, it's not. It's not. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But some people haven't got people in their lives, and I suppose it makes...
I suppose it is, like you say, if there's not somebody there, at least there's somebody there to...
I mean,
all I can say, if it's working, good luck, and if it's what he wants to do to make them happy, then fair enough.
There was something in the press a while ago, and we did report it on the show, which sounds similar, but they didn't pay people. There was an old soldier, an old Marine, and he was from a home. He had no family and everything, and the home and the vicar put a thing out on Facebook, and hundreds of people turned up. The Marine service.
At least they weren't paid.
No, they weren't paid.
They came to basically give thanks for what the guy had done for them. For what service.
I mean, the Marines and the what do you call them? The poppy people, the Royal British Legion. They all turned out and give them a proper soldier's funeral.
Yeah, that is good. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But to do this.
But if you think about it the other way, if they'd just left it, there would have been the vicar and a coffin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of people these days are like that. They're all on their own. They got nobody around them. So I suppose in a way.
I suppose in a way that is good. You know what I mean? But if you have got family around, then obviously it's a different matter.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But then again, it depends how you are with the family, isn't it?
Well, there's that point, I suppose.
So I can't really diss them, but at the end of the day, if it works for them, so.
Yeah, well, if it makes people happy, then do it.
Yeah.
It's all down to personal preference, isn't it? So.
Well, Sherlock said something, and Green Meat repeated it. Life's a piece of when you look at it.
Pardon?
Yeah, they both said it at the same time. Snap.
Oh, right, okay.
But great minds think alike. So they both said it the same. But as I say, it was really nice of on the soldier one.
Yeah.
I think that's a really nice way to go out.
That was because, like you said, it was a lot of them was majority old soldiers that turned up. The U.S. Marine Corps turned up because he was a U.S. Marine.
Well, I think these soldiers should get.
Well, once a soldier, always a soldier. That never goes, and we are a big family. And
which is exactly what the Marine Corps said.
All of my old friends and colleagues, and it's we are a big family, and we do help each other. We're always there for each other. So once you've made that family, it's it's always there for you. So.
Yeah. So, but on that note, my darling, I'm going to let you go.
No problem.
All right.
It's been good talking to everyone.
Yeah, and I'll see you on Saturday.
You shall, yes. So, all prepared.
Yes, prepared. Sharon didn't know about it.
Tara, Neil.
Well, it's all over Facebook.
They say.
Yes, I know. Well, I'll speak to you soon anyway. Give a look to Leanne when you see her.
I certainly will.
All right. Good night, Neil.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, 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 bye.
Charlotte said he'd be very disappointed if no ETs turn up at his funeral.
Oh, well, we'll do it right near to the portal, so they won't have far to go then, Charlotte. I don't know.
We can bury him in the portal.
Yeah, we could do. We could throw him in.
How'd you fancy that, Nigel?
How'd you fancy that, Nigel? We can send you off through the portal.
Yeah, and it'd be a cheap funeral for you, Helen. You can save all the pennies. And then go off on a cruise.
I don't know. Well, basically, I'm afraid that's
good idea, Steve.
You'd like that idea, wouldn't you, Nigel? So, but yeah.
We might be a bit disappointed if he doesn't disappear then when we throw him through.
And then said, I'll chuck him in the portal.
Oh, drop the mic.
You want to turn that down?
No, I will do. Will do.
All right. We don't want another mic going. Right, okay. Right, okie dokie. Right, well, that's it for tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Coming soon.
Right, let's just tell you what's happening next week. Obviously, Neil said he's going to come in next week, so we'll keep him to that. We've got Glenn Richardson coming back on the show next week. He's going to come on via Skype, I think, or phone. I can't remember what he did last time, to be honest with you. But he's coming on. Let me just...
Simply jokes that I know Glenn.
You know Glenn, do you? Right, okay. So let me just check to see what the message was, because I forgot now. 2 seconds. This weekend, guess what's happening? So it all starts on Friday.
Easter.
Glenn's coming on, and if it's okay, he would like to talk about his work into the UFO phenomena and also talk about UFOs in general. So that'll be our monthly talk on UFOs and stuff.
It's a UFO term.
Yeah. So we'll have him on talking about that and whatever else.
Joe said we'll have met him.
Right. So as I say, so we've got him on next week, and then Neil will come on as well, and we'll talk about something else to do with paranormal ghosts and
said,
stuff.
Ostera. Is that part of his talk?
I don't know. What is Ostera? I haven't got a clue. He just said, put Ostera. I ain't got a clue what that means.
And Joe met him when he worked for another company.
So,
Alex said, is he good looking?
I don't know.
He's asking Joe.
I haven't got a clue. We also need some more talkers for April.
Okay, Joe, I get the point.
So, I believe we're going to be having...
Ostra means Easter.
Oh, right. Ostra means Easter. Happy Ostra. Sometime in April, we can sort out about getting Andy on. So, if you want to pick yourself a Wednesday, with the exception of the 24th. I can't remember what you said you were going to talk about, actually, Andy. Because on the 24th, we've got Alison Winrider coming back and talking about herself and also doing her readings again. So you've got that as well. So don't forget, if you want a reading from Alison, then please get in touch with us and we'll put you into the show schedule. Any particular Wednesday, Andy?
He said Nazis and the occult.
We've got the 10th and the 17th. So pick yourself a Wednesday, or that's it. Yeah. Have we? Hold on. Yeah. Also spring equinox. That's paranormal at the moment because all we're getting is snow. So pick yourself a date, 10th or 17th, Andy. We'll do that with you. Nazis and the cult.
John said he'll Skype when Alison comes in.
Right, okay, I'll get back to you. Cool. So, hope it is going to be sunny tomorrow. So, basically, thanks very much for joining us.
Every Wednesday night.
Yeah, we will be back every Wednesday night.
This is where it's at.
And we hope that you'll join us and change the habit of a lifetime, which I keep saying, and giving us a call. So, as I say, it's been great having you with us. So, we're going to put this on YouTube. We'd also like to thank Mr. Ben Hansen for coming on the show again. And also Neil Munnerley for doing his telephone interview with us Okay, and there'll be more news coming about Neil Munnerley, hopefully very soon. But watch this space. So until next time, all we can say is...
Keep the paranormal friendly, guys.
Yeah, you do that. What are you looking at, Sue? This.
You're in the right place. Online, on the web, and on air. All over the world.
Yep, that's where you can find us. On the KTPF Community Talk Show. Keeping the paranormal friendly. Each and every Wednesday night. With you and our special guests. So as we said before, thank you very much. Good night and God bless. And remember, keep the paranormal friendly. Good night, everyone.
Yeah, see you all next week.